p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
When you can take your eye off a big pizza pie, that's familiar.
How does a hot pizza and a six-pack of beer sound right about now? How about if it was only $20? Take advantage of the Familia Saturday and Sunday special of a large one-topping pizza and a six-pack of Pitt Street beer for only $20. Call 689-6330 and then pick it up at the drive-thru window. Need a job? Good news. Familia is now hiring servers, bartenders, and hostesses. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
You're listening to Pushing the Odds on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Powered by O'Reilly Auto Parts and Rocket Mortgage.
Live from Las Vegas, here's Matt Peralt.
Pushing the Odds being brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage with you every step of the way to provide a seamless mortgage experience. So that week one game that we were talking about, Chiefs at the Texans. Sorry, flip it. Texans at the Chiefs. Sorry. The total is 55. The total is 55. Now, long-time Pushing the Odds listeners, you guys are going to remember what we used to do last year during football season when we used to look at the totals involving the Chief games, and we'd basically say, how long does it take for it to get to 60? And there were, I think, 2 games last year that the Chiefs played games with the total at some point hit 60. Like, 60 points in a football game is ridiculous. And the Sharps will pretty much bet the under at 60 just because it's 60 points in an NFL football game. It's ridiculous. But it's the Chiefs. How many points will the Texans give up to the Chiefs? That team total is going to be fun. Chief team totals this year will be fun as well. And look, I think they're going to run the ball better this coming year. I think they've done a really good job of keeping their talent. Their defense should be a little bit improved. The Texans are in a world of hurt in that game. It's their first game without DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, just watching a Texans game without Nuke on the field is going to be wacko. Like, that receiving core, oh my. I feel for Texan fans. I do. It's kind of like how I feel about watching the Red Sox without Mookie Betts. It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. You're looking at the lineup and you're like, wait, this team 2 years ago won the World Series. Not that the Texans won anything, but you look at the offense for the Texans 2 years ago and you're like, okay, that offense is good. Defense is the problem, but the offense is good. You got Deshaun Watson, this young quarterback. Look what he's doing. Oh my gosh, it's great. And now you're like, let's get a deal done real quick with Hopkins, with Watson, because he can't be happy. And if I was the Texans, I would lock him down now. Because if you try to negotiate in the year or after the year, I don't know how many games Texans are going to win. I think they're the third best team in that division. Titans 1, Colts 2, Texans 3. But it could be a rough year in Houston. It might not be a fun year in Houston, in particular because that division is much better. Especially the top 2 teams in that division are much better than they were last year. More to come on a Wednesday edition of Pushing the Odds.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Voice of the Pirate Nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
You can paint this one purple!
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here with you in the Pirate Radio studios on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We are on 1250, 930. You can check us out on pr927fm.com, streaming there, and also watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Coming up on today's program, we will talk to the voice of the Campbell Fighting Camels, and he may not be using a lot of his voice this year. Campbell, at last check, had 2 football games scheduled this year. One of those against App State that was added recently. We'll talk to Chris Heymeyer about what's going on at Campbell and other FCS schools during this different-looking college football fall that lies ahead. We'll talk to Heymeyer coming up later on in hour order number one. Wager McGhee going to join us to talk about everything going on in the world of sports, which we have some playoff action going on as we speak. The Lightning and Blue Jackets are in overtime, 4-4, and that is news for you Canes fans because you remember the game going into 5 OTs earlier this playoff round, and the Canes having to be pushed back a day. We'll see if their face-off time has to be pushed back due to what is happening right now up in Toronto. Also, the Raptors are trailing the Nets at halftime, so we've already seen some big upsets. We saw 2 8 seeds win yesterday in the NBA bubble. The Nets trying to pull off the latest upset. They lead the Raptors at halftime. More on that as Wager McGhee will join us to talk NBA, football, everything in between in the 4 o'clock hour. 5 o'clock hour, we'll visit with the voice, Jeff Charles, and also Bryce Williams, former ECU tight end, going to join us. We also have comments from Mike Houston, yesterday's Zoom meeting with the media. We will get to some of that throughout today's program as well. Shirley Rhodes and Chandler joining us, producing today's program, and Brian North will kick us off on the Fixed NC Live line. Mr. Tenfold, how you doing today, Brian?
Doing well, joining you from the WCTI bubble where we are surviving.
I saw that there's a lot of local news folks happy about being able to get in the studio. I think I saw Brett Kennedy tweet about that North recently, that the studio is open, and I don't know, no more man caving for you guys?
Yeah, we decided to hose him down with as much antibacterial stuff that we could find, and allowed him in the building, and he seemed to be very happy. We just got to make sure he social distances. You know, sometimes these young, enthusiastic guys, you got to make sure you got the 6-foot stick in between you. So, but yeah, we're allowing him back in as we get more sports ramping up now, and a little bit harder to do sportscasts from out in the field and from your home. So we've made a few subtle changes in our newsroom to allow him back in periodically to do some sportscasting.
Sounds good. Speaking of sportscasting, maybe that Hurricanes game will get in a timely fashion because we have gone to final in Toronto. Tampa Bay just scored, and the Lightning knock off the Blue Jackets. That means the Canes should be able to start, I would think, relatively on time, scheduled for 4 o'clock today to take on the Boston Bruins, trying to stave off elimination. Brian, you mentioned these young, enthusiastic kids. I am a far cry from that. You are as well. But I was thinking about last week, the issue with, we want college football. How's it going to happen? Well, the issue was conferences were dropping out, and that was not a good thing. We seem to have survived that, being the AAC, the ACC, SEC, Big 12, Sun Belt, and Conference USA. Now the new deal this week, the new word is cluster. And we've got clusters on these college campuses. And what does that mean for football if students have to go home and go to remote learning? It sounds like, Brian, if you look at, I don't know, North Carolina as an example, maybe that won't affect their plan to play football this fall?
Well, first of all, we've had clusters with this thing to begin with in the sports world ever since the middle of March, so that's nothing new. But when you're talking about what's happening with football programs, look, these guys are already a little bit more isolated from the student population. And when Mac Brown was talking to the media, he said, look, we've already had these guys on campus. We already have them wearing the masks. We've been hammering it into him to social distance and do all those things. So it's been part of the routine already. You just hope some guys don't make some bad choices when you deal with temptation. Temptation's the hardest thing to deal with in life. College students are really bad with dealing with temptation. That's why you see all these parties in Greenville and Raleigh and Chapel Hill. I mean, it's just, you're young, you want to get out, you want to do these things. You don't think the Rona will affect you that much, and so it's no shock that these things are going to pop up. It's how you deal with them. Chapel Hill decided, we've got your money, let's just shut it down now, and we'll keep a lot of your money that you already paid us. and we're going to see some other universities do the same thing. Others are going to try and see if they can't get over the bump in the road. But I think for when it comes to athletic teams, I think the coaches who have had their players on campus early have just been hammering it that you got to wear your mask or you're not going to be able to play and our season's going to be affected. And I got to think the majority of the players, look, when you're dealing with 100 kids in a team, you're going to have some who aren't going to follow your rules, who are going to be tempted as well. But for the majority of them, I would think that they would be able to deal with this. You've already had a bunch of positive tests. We're hearing the CDC says maybe that gives you 90 days of immunity anyways. So I would think with football coaches and football teams, they've got a little bit more on the line to try and resist temptation a little bit.
Yeah, talking to Brian North on the Fixed NC Live line, another recent trend that has been positive news is every day, Brian, when I come on the air at 3 o'clock, I have more college football games to talk about that have been scheduled. And Shirley, you were mentioning it earlier today, the games added today, was it Clemson and the Citadel?
Clemson and the Citadel. BYU will take on Army.
There you go. There's a couple more, Brian. And every time I see those, I mean, I think to myself, I'm at least half intelligent that if they are scheduling games right now to be played in a few weeks, they are seriously planning to play football, right?
Yeah, I think any of these that can, and look, you have to see where they're playing and look at the states and the current mandates that they're having these places in, like Nebraska and Kansas. They're saying, look, we haven't had problems here. We're going to let fans into games. And South Carolina has never been real tight with their regulations, so no surprise that Clemson's trying to get in another game, and we'll see what they do with fans. But really, I always say follow the money. Where's the money? And if you can get these games in earlier before anything else breaks down, that's why I think you're seeing some teams and some schools trying to schedule these games if they can. Let's get it in sooner rather than later. Sell some TV time, sell some tickets, sell however you're going to sell it, but they're going to make some money. And it's much better to schedule these things early and get it in now before things can change, because we know how quickly things can change with this virus and the people reacting to it.
Brian, I wrote off, fans being allowed to games, like Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, for example, a long time ago. And maybe that's part of me just expecting the worst and hoping for the best type of thing. I just didn't see it. I still don't see it the way the governor has made his decisions to this point and everything that's happening right now. I know there are still folks out there that are hopeful for that and maybe even thinking that could be a possibility. How about you? I mean, is there any type of possibility that if we play a football game on the 12th or maybe even a home football game later in the year in October that there could be fans in the stands at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium?
The 12th might be a lot to ask. I'm not sure when the next phase 2 deadline comes up, but you keep looking at the numbers in the state, and they just aren't coming down. Even though they're a little bit better, they're still not coming down drastic enough. And then I think you have to look at, maybe when he makes the decision, then do you start looking at, okay, different regions, all right? You can't have your mass gatherings in, let's say, Raleigh or Greensboro or Charlotte where they're having problems, but if Greenville's numbers are good, maybe you will allow those things. I'm not quite sure. The skeptic in me, the guy wearing the tinfoil hat, says you put enough money in somebody's pocket, they'll make a decision to allow you to have fans to make money. So it's going to all depend on what happens with what the governor has to say and what rules they've been. And I had this thought earlier today. If you have a matchup with somebody and your state is not allowing the mass gatherings, but other states are, and you can generate more money at that other venue, and then you can get some guaranteed money from that, would you then change your date or go to that location if you're talking money only? I know the coaches wouldn't want to make that switch, but when you're talking about the money aspect of it, would there be enough fans allowed in where they could actually give you a guaranteed payout to go on the road to do that and cover your costs and do all those things?
Yeah, I mean, so use Marshall, use Marshall as an example, Brian, that if fans are allowed in West Virginia and Huntington, that ECU could go play a road game and split the profits or get something out of it, maybe?
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're looking at it from a financial standpoint, again, I don't think Mike Houston wants to give up a home game.
No.
Because Mike Houston right now is trying to get that program to get wins. But from a financial standpoint, if you're the athletic directors and you can work out financially where it benefits ECU more to go on the road and make more money than you could in a home game, I think you have to look at that. I mean, I don't know if you make the decision right away, but I think that's something that you would have to look at, because West Virginia is one of those states, I think, that they will allow fans at games right now.
Well, your follow the money comment answers almost every question I have for you, including, it's even a factor in Mike Houston yesterday being asked about playing an FCS opponent on September 5th before you play Marshall. Obviously, he and Donnie Kirkpatrick answered it on the Brian Bailey Show Monday. Donnie also added that nobody is asking his opinion on anything when it comes to that stuff, which is true. But the answer would be, yeah, you want a quote-unquote tune-up game. You want all the games you can get for your guys and everything. But you don't have that money to spend, right, for an FCS opponent to come in. It's kind of late in the game anyway at this point, but we still see teams adding games daily. Clemson did it today, and then we talked about BYU and Army. But it comes down to, if you could pay a team to roll in and get beat 44-20 or whatever, I mean, that'd be great, but you just can't afford to do that, I don't think.
Well, it would have to be, like, you look at some of the regional matchups that are happening. With Marshall, it's Western Kentucky. So that's a real short bus ride. You don't have to give them a whole lot of money to cover their travel expenses to make that short trip. So it's
we got Chris Heymeyer coming up in about 20 minutes, Brian. Could we call Campbell to come on down and play a game? I mean, I think they, at last check, and I'm going to ask Chris about this, I think they have 2 games on their 2020 fall football schedule, Brian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sure, they're looking for, they would probably want to pay out. Or you could just question Mike Minter's manhood, and that might get him all fired up.
Wow.
And he might bring his team, over just to prove a point. But,
hey, Mike, you scared? What are you? You scared to play, Mike? he'll just bust down for free? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he'll load up the bus paper and own gas and come over, sure. Look, you might as well try it, right? But, you have to look, again, all those things play into it. On the surface, yes, you're going to have a game. You're probably as ready as you're going to be with all the restrictions. It's not going to be, football this year is not going to be pretty, right? We're not going to, with missing spring football and summer workouts, the on-the-field product is not going to be the best we've seen. Pure athleticism is going to be more of an advantage than ever before. So the guys are as ready as they're going to be to play a game, and injuries are going to play a huge factor if guys aren't as physically fit as they should be. So really it comes down to money and logistics, and can you do it? And like I said, get the games in early before, because I don't see this thing getting much better around the country as we get into the fall, and then you start getting into more flu season and those issues, and people are just tired of following these rules, and you're seeing less and less people wearing masks and just kind of accepting where life is right now. So I don't know if we're going to see the numbers get much better until a vaccine comes along, and even then I'm not so sure. So you have to find ways to deal with it and move on, as long as people can stay relatively safe. But who else in the region can you get to come down this way? I know Liberty's playing just about anybody this year, and they've got their own issues. They don't care about masks and all those other things there as well. So but yeah, you need a regional opponent who can get on a bus and travel cheaply if you're not going to be able to sell a lot of tickets.
Brian North joining us. Brian, I struggle with this, and I want to ask you as a sports guy, sports TV anchor, and you do cover the news as well. But the X's and O's, the personnel of ECU, do you think you're further behind on that going into a season than you would be in previous years, just because there's so many other things to focus on that you're not just thinking about what's the 2 or 3 deep at running back this year for ECU? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you behind on that stuff, or do you think you're pretty up to date when it comes to that?
Behind, I haven't even got to the start line yet on that stuff.
Yeah,
so
right.
with no spring football, with no summer workouts, you're right. I mean, no media day. Media days when I tend to catch up. I'll sit there, read the media guide, and start going through some of these things. I haven't been to one of those things. I haven't even attended a Zoom press conference yet. I just wait for it to appear, so I'm not there asking questions. I'm just hearing the press conferences, and I love Stephen Igo, but I haven't been stalking his in-depth reports to really get a lot of information yet. So no. If you're not even sure a season's going to happen, you don't invest a whole lot of time getting ready when you've got a lot of other things going on in your life. So I'm going to be Holt Naylor's, I think, is still the quarterback, right?
You got that,
and C.J. Johnson's a receiver, and one of the Pro kid's a receiver, and Tyler Sneed's a receiver, so I'm good.
The good news is they have a lot of returners there, so you kind of know what you're talking about if people ask you.
Right, and they don't run the ball anyway, so I don't have to worry about running back. Darius Penix is back, I believe. I think I saw him at practice the other day.
Okay.
So, when the dirty secret of sportscasting, when I was young, and I could stay up and watch the West Coast games. I knew the backup quarterback for everybody in the country. Now you learn you only need to know what you need to know for the 3 minutes that you're on the air. So as you get older, that's the deal. You know the quarterback, you know the guy catching the ball. Don't worry about the offensive lineman who was offsides 3 times, because you're probably not going to talk about that in your 3-minute sports segment.
All right, there is the secret of TV sports anchoring, folks. If
Brian Bailey's been doing it for 30 years. I mean,
so shout him out. Bailey, the other day we were talking hockey, because you know me and Bailey are big puckheads, Brian, big hockey guys, right? And Bailey was like, man, I love. We were watching the Hurricanes actually. He was all fired up and stuff, and he was naming all the players. And then we got on the air, and I was like, man, and what a hat trick, right, Bailey? And he was like, yeah, that he couldn't remember Svechnikov's name. He was just saying it perfect off the air, but it made him look like a fool on the air, unfortunately. But we love Double B.
We're all used to that for the last 30 years.
It has turned into a roast here today, folks. All right, Brian. So what are you following in the sports world? The Canes, they're about done, right? We can.
We're about to enter the height of the hurricane season with storms, but it looks like we may be at the end of the hurricane season when it comes to hockey. And after that great run last year, they just ran into one of the hotter teams, the way things set up, and that third period the other night was just so brutal. You have a 2-goal lead going in, and you just blow it, and that's where seasons and playoff series are just absolutely turned.
Yeah, that was absolutely brutal watching that. You still got, we talked about yesterday, it was great to see Montrezl Harrell back in the bubble following the death of his grandmother, and I've really been enjoying the bubble basketball. Yeah, 2 8 seeds winning yesterday, which it still obviously doesn't feel like a traditional playoff, but I will say, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'm watching hockey highlights now, I've been watching a lot of basketball. The fans definitely add excitement and an atmosphere, but the effort on the court and the ice and in these games, I've been very impressed, Brian. It hasn't lacked energy to me at all.
No, not with professionals who want to play, and that's their competitive fire, and that's what they do. You know, the emotion from fans always helps, but I don't think it stops guys from really wanting to compete, and really that's all they have to do right now, being in that bubble. But here's what I want you to ask. I saw on the Twitter that Wager McGhee is going to be on later.
Yeah.
I'm real curious, Ed, about this home court or home ice advantage now being in the bubble. We see the 2 8 seeds win. You know, how much is this changing the lines, the home court advantage, all those things of not having your home court, not having your fans, not having that environment? How much is that changing the betting lines? Is it changing the outcomes? I'm sure Wager is delved into that subject a little bit, but this is a real neat case study we're going to be having here with no true home court advantage, finding out how much home court advantage really means when it actually does return.
Very good point. And look, the Blazers, I think Damian Lillard makes that shot from almost half court anywhere, because that's just kind of what he does. But some of these other guys that are hitting threes, Gary Trent hit a big one last night. Does he hit that one with a bunch of Lakers fans screaming? I don't know. Right. Do the Magic actually stay in the game and lead by 15-10 the entire game if the Bucks crowds into it? I don't know. I don't think so. So, no, I think that's a good point. And I just saw today that the Raptors, and I'll get a score update, were 11.5-point favorites. And right now, they trail by 3 in the third quarter to the Nets. So, yeah, it's definitely even in the playing field a little bit, and plus all the other surroundings you got going on. So that's I will bring that up. Thank you for your question for Wager McGee coming up.
I'm looking out for you gambling degenerates. So, but I just thinking about the home court. Now there is no true home court. You're just a higher seed. Is that going to play a factor in these playoffs?
Brian North joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Brian, we'll get a little NASCAR in. What'd you make of the Daytona road course over the weekend? You like it? Dislike it? What do you think?
That was cool. I mean, it's something different with NASCAR. I get so bored with the ovals if it's a long race, and so I've always loved the road courses. I mean, you may not have the most exciting pack. Guys negotiate the left and right-hand turns, and those things is always a little bit more fun. And so, I didn't mind it. I've always said they probably need more road course. If you really want to find out who your best drivers are overall, you got your long tracks, your short tracks. You should have more road courses in there. I think that it's a lot more fun racing to watch on TV for me personally.
And Martin Truex Jr. did a lot of racing because he was up front and then had that penalty and then drove all the way back to a top 3 finish. Chase Elliott picking up the win, and guess who didn't win again? Well, Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch. I was thinking Kyle Busch, but you could say both of those guys. A couple of long streaks going for those two.
It's surprising with both. Now, Jimmy, we know is the end of his career.
Yeah.
We know when things happen like that, it's rare for guys to go out in a blaze of glory. Most drivers who retire or in their last year rarely get wins, rarely have that storybook ending. So with Jimmy, I'm not surprised. With Kyle, it's unusual because I think everybody can agree, even though he's not the most popular driver, he is one of the best drivers out there for what he does on the 3 different circuits on a weekly basis and the number of wins he has and how well he handles cars. So for him, it's a little more unusual, but all drivers go through dry spells. They're trying to figure out their setup. Sometimes it's bad luck, but when they pop out of it, usually it's with a vengeance. So I wouldn't count him out just yet.
Brian North joining us. North, always great to talk to you on Wednesday as we sit here on the 19th. We are ready for some football, and it is still a go. We'll see if that is the case when we talk to you next Wednesday.
Yeah, look, we're still going to have 8-man football this fall, it sounds like. Parrott Academy and Bethel Christian say they're going to be playing by the end of September. So we're going to have some high school football around, and some of the Christian schools are going to start playing volleyball and soccer games next week. So we're getting some sports. You're just going to have to look a little harder for them.
All right, so we're going to have a lot of 8-man football in the Blitz this year. Is that what we're going to do, Brian? How are we going to?
The coaches told me they expect to get multi-minute highlight packages on the abbreviated Blitz, the 8-man Blitz this year.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. North, thank you, man. Enjoy it.
All right, Clippy.
Later on, there's Brian North joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. We will have some Mike Houston comments for you coming up during today's program. No Zoom today. They have another Zoom scheduled on Thursday. They have a scrimmage scheduled on Friday. You can watch last night's Zoom on our social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also we have the Mike Houston's quotes quoted there as well, and you'll hear what he had to say coming up later on today's program. In fact, Shirley, let's hit one now because I mentioned it with North a moment ago. The topic of adding another opponent. John Gilbert has pretty much stayed solid on we're good with 10 games. It appears that still could change. We're kind of the start-finish line here on that, but Mike Houston was asked about it. Would he like to play an FCS opponent? It's cut 9, Shirley, before he faces Marshall on September 12th, because, of course, Marshall added a game just yesterday. They'll be playing on the 5th of September. Here's what Mike Houston's comment on that.
I don't know. That one's above my pay grade. So I've petitioned for what I wanted. But, there's so many factors to consider with that stuff. You have a lot of factors with the state of North Carolina, and we're trying to figure out those, just what game day is going to look at. I know that the administration met on that today. I was in there for just a few minutes and just, I kind of get a grasp of what they're looking at there. If we could find the right situation, I would be in favor of it, but there's just so many factors, that go into can you schedule a game on September 5th. I do think it's, good and bad. We'll get to see Marshall the week before they play us. So, you'll at least get a good look at them. But they'll also get a live game reps before they play us. So
Mike Houston there talking about the, do you schedule another game? Do you not? He and all football coaches and probably the players as well want to play it, but there's a lot of different factors that go into scheduling another game. Right now, ECU sitting on those 10 games with Marshall and Georgia State being the non-conference games, the rest of the games conference play for ECU scheduled to kick it off September 12th. Will Shirley Rhodes and I be here for the Bud Light pregame tailgate? Good grief, I hope so. That would be awesome to be with you 4 hours before the game and then after the game on the U.S. Cellular 5th quarter call-in show. Let's take a time out. When we return, man, Campbell looks like they'll have a couple of pregame shows this fall, and that's about it. What is going on with Campbell and FCS football? How are they trying to not only play football, but make some money during these times. We will talk to Chris Heymeyer about that, find out the latest on Campbell football, and talk about everything else going on in the world of college football when we return on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Have you heard the news? Villa Verde is now available for dining in. That's right, both locations of Villa Verde are back open on the inside. And on top of that, the original location on 10th Street has been completely remodeled. But if you prefer curbside or takeout, that is still going strong too. Don't forget the Villa Verde family meal deals are a great way to feed your entire family at an affordable price.
This is Jay from Villa Verde, and we look forward to seeing you at one of our locations soon. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
You know texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic two-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
It's almost quitting time, but your family's hunger is gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could drop a big bow box on it. Because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, you can clock out and spend some quality time with a delicious dinner. Now when it comes to sneaking a biscuit on the drive home, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and is more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro. We are the professional office systems people.
Looking for your next career opportunity or even just some extra cash to help pay for school? Your locally owned Dixon Foods McDonald's is hiring across Eastern North Carolina. They offer flexible hours, competitive pay, and even financial support to pursue your education through McDonald's Archways to Opportunity program. With plans to provide more than 100 new jobs currently, we hope you'll visit DixonFoods.com to learn more. Dixon Foods, proud to be your locally owned and locally operated franchisee for McDonald's.
This is Mike Houston, head football coach at East Carolina University, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. The best investment you can make is in yourself. Get educated and make prudent decisions about your financial future. Contact David Dom at Carolina Wealth Management today at 439-1344 for a free consultation. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, welcome back to Pirate Radio Live on a Wednesday. Clip Rock here. Got our buddy Wager McGhee coming in at 4 o'clock to get you up to date on all the college football news, talk NBA, NHL. Cough. Wager's been good with his NASCAR picks. We'll talk about that as well. And we got the voice of the Pirates, Jeff Charles, and Bryce Williams, former ECU tight end, joining us in hour number 3 of today's show. Got some Mike Houston comments to get to as well. And Shirley Rhodes is at the desk. She has a good news music bed and a bad news music bed. She's got all the beds covered. If you need your news, and we'll give it to you here if anything comes up during Pirate Radio Live. All right, let's go out to the Fixed NC Live line now. And joining us, we just talked to Brian North from WCTI 12. He is formerly of WCTI 12, former voice of the K-Tribe, former host of the Extra Point here on Pirate Radio, former host of the U.S. Sailor Fifth Quarter Call-In Show here on Pirate Radio, and probably a bunch of other stuff that I forgot about. He's the current voice of the Campbell Fighting Camels, Chris Heymeyer. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Clip. First, I have a little matter to talk with you about. This is my first time on the brand new Pirate Radio Live. Are you telling me COVID-19 shut down the sports bar as well?
We did some consolidating, I guess. We put all of our resources together for one big 3-hour tour every day. So there's still a little piece of the sports bar here with us, Chris. But yes, right now we are under the Pirate Radio Live umbrella.
Well, that is good to know that it is still open somewhere.
Yes.
It's a pleasure. Long-time listener, first-time caller here for Pirate Radio Live. Great to talk to you and Shirley today.
Absolutely. Chris, wanted to get you on to talk about the state of college football and how it has affected Campbell. So it kind of goes back to last week. Stephen Igo and I were talking about, who's still playing football. And after we got through the run of conferences, canceling football for the fall and schools dropping out, we started to go on a mini trend, and it's still continuing, of schools adding games. And we noticed that Oklahoma had added Missouri State. So Igo just happened to look at Missouri State's schedule and saw that was the only football game on their schedule. And then when I saw the news that Campbell and App State were going to play, I looked at the Camels football schedule and saw that you got a September grind there, Heymeyer, but that's about it. 2 games on the schedule. So kind of fill us in right now on what you're thinking about what's going on with football in the fall, because it looks like your Camels are scheduled for 2 games and only 2 games, right, Chris?
Well, the good news is, and unfortunately can't release them yet, even to my good friends at Pirate Radio. But Campbell will play 4 games. Only 2 are official on the schedule. The other one, verbal agreements right now that should come out in the next couple weeks. And the reason why Campbell is able to do that, they're only able to play 4 games. The Big South Conference, which looks a little different football-wise, they're a much wider spread conference than the normal basketball that that's kind of just in the Virginia and the Carolinas. Monmouth, Kennesaw State, North Alabama are some teams that are in the Big South Football Conference. So when the Big South Conference canceled their fall sports, the soccers, the cross country, and the volleyball, they had a couple of football schools in the conference. Monmouth had done this. Presbyterian had done this. Hampton had done this, had already canceled their football season, but that left a couple of schools left that wanted to play football. Gardner-Webb, Kennesaw State, Charleston Southern. So the Big South made a conference-wide decision saying that if their football schools wanted to play 4 non-conference games, they could. Now they, like a lot of other conferences around the country, are thinking that they're going to play spring football conference only in the Big South, but they said, hey, we know some of you have some contracts already at the FBS level, and we're going to allow you to honor those contracts and then pick up new games, which, of course, as you know, with all the shuffling and the Big Ten canceling and the Pac-12 and all the other FCS conferences, that was an opportunity for Campbell to pick up some games. So they have the Georgia Southern game on September 12th, which will be an away game. That was on the schedule before this year started, and then they picked up App State, and they will be picking up a couple more too. So Campbell will play fall football, a total of 4 games.
Interesting stuff, Brian. And now I was going to ask you about the spring football aspect of this thing. So they're going to play in the fall. Has there been any, like, at least talks about what a spring football would look like? Because I'm curious about this for schools that plan to play in the spring. Is it can't be, I don't think, your traditional 12 games or even maybe 10 games. But has there been any initial talks about what that might look like, Chris?
Well, when they originally made this decision with the Big South, what they said was their intent was they didn't know exactly when, they didn't know exactly how it would be, but they could play a conference schedule. Not as many teams in the Big South Football Conference that are in even some of the other FCS conference, let alone the FBS conference. So on the one hand, they could definitely do something like that, and it would be maybe something that they could cap on 6 games and still crown a winner and still go on if the FCS decided to have a championship and a playoff. Now, we've talked a lot about former Carolina Panther Mike Minner, who has been the head coach here at Campbell football and has taken this program to 3 straight winning season, and how he is so good at kind of protecting his players and having a voice for the player and thinking of his student athlete's best interests. And the great thing he is, and the thing that he has told me, he said he's looking at this as an unbelievable opportunity in the fall. At the FCS level, you usually get that one FBS game a fall. He's looking at this as a fact that, like, he can play 4 big boys in the fall, get his team ready for if there is a spring.
Yeah.
And I think, as if we have all known anything, that's a big if.
Yeah.
You have probably talked about it on your show, but one of the things that I haven't heard a lot of that we're going to hear a lot of is, okay, you can have a football games and a football schedule in the spring, but then you're asking those guys turn right around and play another full schedule in the fall.
Right.
Is that really going to happen? And I think Coach Minner's looking at it like this might be our only chance to play in the 2020-2021 season, and how fun would it be to put some FBS teams on the schedule and go for it.
I think that's awesome that he is moving forward with that, because I do agree that. And let's just run another hypothetical, Chris. Let's say you play 4 in the fall, you're able to play your conference in the spring, and then you're turning around and playing another fall season. That's a lot of football for these guys. And how do classifications work? Has that even been discussed? That if you do play 4 this fall, I guess if you do play in the spring, then everybody's on their same classification that played in the fall? As far as sophomore, junior, senior,
Right. Talking to the coaching staff, they said a decision is going to come down soon, and I think it might even be the NCAA is meeting, I want to say Thursday or Friday, and one of the things that they have to tell these schools are eligibility rules. Now, as we know, the NCAA could come up with anything, but the coaching staff was saying that they were hearing that if you play in less than 50% of your games this year, whether it be in a fall or a spring schedule, you would get that eligibility back. The great thing is about a 4-game schedule in the fall, which is what Campbell will play, those 4 games can go towards, as you know, the new redshirt rules that went into effect last year. So if something were to change drastically and you had your guys only playing in 4 games in the fall, you could work that out in the spring if they changed the eligibility rules. But that's what they were saying to me. And again, I think it falls back on the fact that spring football, while it sounds like a good idea, when you really think about what it would do physically to these guys, I think they're thinking their best chance to play is in the fall.
Yeah, talking to Chris Heymeyer on the Fixed NC Live line. Chris, and we'll have Mac McCarthy joining us on the show tomorrow, former ECU head basketball coach. We'll talk about college football, and also where does college basketball fit in with this? It almost seems like that a conspiracy, but North Carolina and Duke want to get their football season in because if they don't, they're afraid they might lose basketball too for 2020. But does that come up at all, Chris, when it comes to Campbell athletics? What the future looks like for a Campbell basketball season?
Yeah, definitely. I'm talking to people that, again, just kind of in initial stages of things, throwing together what different things could look like. Campbell is really in a great position of the fact that their footprint and their basketball conference is basically South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia.
Right.
So you could really see some sort of, the word bubble is being thrown out, and I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be like it is in the NBA. 30 teams have to be somewhere for 2 months. It doesn't have to be like that. With all of these schools about 3 or 4 hours apart, you can really see how you can get a big arena and a pretty good sized city with a lot of hotels around, and you could make it work playing 3, 4, 5 games in a week. And also, too, with all of these schools letting all of their students go home at the Thanksgiving break and not come back again until the second semester starts in January, hypothetically, from the outside looking in, that's a long time when you could keep your basketball players in a bubble or keep them quarantined and they're not missing out in class. They're not running into other students. So I think that's interesting, too, what could be created if you wanted to play some non-conference games, if you wanted to do these non-conference bubbles. I think you could do them at these things.
Chris Heymeyer joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Had a little breaking news for us that Campbell will be playing 4 football games. There are 2 currently on the schedule. I guess I should ask you as a distinguished journalist, Chris, even though you wouldn't reveal the names of the schools, can you say definitively if ECU is on or off the Campbell schedule in football?
Man, Cliff, I think very early on when teams were dropping left or right, we were thinking, all right, who's a couple hours away? Let's see what we can do. But I can definitely confirm that unfortunately it's not going to be East Carolina. But as you and I know, if college football is still around, 2022, September 24th, at East Carolina, the Fighting Camels will be galloping up towards Greenville, and we can do this face-to-face then.
It'll
be so great. I can see everybody again.
Absolutely. And Chris, luckily the curse of Chris Heymeyer is over. We have actually been able to defeat Campbell in some sports, including baseball at a regional and even basketball a couple of times. But, man, there was a run where the Camels had the Pirates number in just about everything, Chris.
I know. Like I say, I cheer for the purple and gold all the time, unless they're playing the Camels. So I'm glad that's over. I'm glad I'm welcome back into the studios and into the city of Greenville, and I hope it happens soon.
Chris, you're gloom and doom sometimes. So when the sports world shut down after the Chiefs won a Super Bowl, did you kind of feel like, or did you sell your soul to the devil, or did you say, look, if the Chiefs win, I'll be fine with no sports? Did you do anything like that, Chris?
My very first thing, Clip, was, I thought for a while maybe it's a good thing. We might not have NFL football ever again. Those early days.
Oh, yeah, they're dark.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
So the Kansas City Chiefs would go down into the history books as the last team to win a Super Bowl. I thought about that, and then when it started to look the other way, you're right. Sometimes it's doom and gloom with me. I think part of that was hosting the
fifth quarter. Yeah, it'll beat you down. It'll beat you down for sure.
For some lean years for East Carolina sometimes. But I thought, you know what? Chiefs haven't won a Super Bowl in 50 years, and they're not going to get a chance to defend their title. But as we know, it looks like NFL is going to start up, and they locked down their quarterback for a while. So
that they did. This is not like Elway went with the Broncos late in this year, or one of those where you get a nice send off. I mean, the Chiefs seem to be here for a while, right, Chris? I mean, that's the plan. That's what it looks like anyway.
Well, You hope so. And again, the missing link for the Kansas City Chiefs through all these years, it seems like they've had a good defense and not a good offense. They've had a good offense and not a good defense, but they haven't had that all-pro caliber quarterback in their prime, and they certainly have one now. And in a place like Kansas City, I know when you really sit down and do the numbers, that's going to be a contract that may make it hard to win in the future, but the fact that in a place like Kansas City, when someone does that, brings a championship to a football town for the first time in 50 years, that's an organization and a fan base that wants to reward him. And then what does he do? He goes out the next day and buys part of the Kansas City Royals, which if you needed a reason to be a Kansas City fan and love Patrick Mahomes more, the fact that he did that was just incredible. It's another thing, if you're maybe not from Kansas City and around there, you don't realize how big of a deal that is, but the fact that he did that was something incredible. So it was a lot of fun, and they might get a chance to defend their title.
And Chris, you are a Missouri guy, correct? How glad are you that the Tigers are in the SEC and not, in another conference out there right now? Although I guess the Big 12 is still planning on playing, but it looks like the SEC is kind of controlling this whole thing right now.
It's pretty incredible, and that was one of the reasons that Missouri, that was a perfect geographical fit from the Big 12, and really, too, traditionally, they had been a basketball school, so that was even more of a fit for them, but they were tired of, you remember at the time it was Texas breaking off and doing the Longhorn Network and the rest of the Big 12 out of it, and then Oklahoma. It was always Oklahoma and Texas threatening to go to the SEC, threatening to go to the Pac-12, and teams like Missouri that had been a part of the conference for a long time and had started to really put the money in for football and not going away from the basketball side of things, but realizing football was where the money was and how you were going to get the higher national profile. And they joined the SEC, which was sort of an eyebrow raiser, but it has been great for them, especially with the football profile, except for when the SEC added the conference games and went to conference only. Missouri is opening up at home against Alabama, who was not on the schedule. And another thing, SEC, they remember who the new guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Mizzou, of course, has the first-year head coach, and his welcome to the SEC moment is going to be hosting Alabama to start the season. So
sounds fun. Yeah.
They give and they take away.
Chris Heymeyer joining us, voice of the Campbell Fighting Camels. They'll be playing some football this fall, scheduled to play 2 games officially right now. It's going to be 4 games, so that's exciting, Chris. You'll get some football in, and like you said, I mean, Mike Minner, I think, has the right idea, and I'm sure a lot of these FCS coaches do, that are able to schedule games that, look, let's not only get a game in, let's get some money out of it, let's get our guys some experience, and we'll see what happens in the spring, but if nothing else, be back full-fledged next fall. So I think it's pretty cool. Look, I've said since the start of this thing that some of these leagues are going to have to be creative, and I give major kudos to the NBA, the NHL, for what they've been able to do, and colleges, universities, athletic programs are going to have to get creative as well and kind of do things differently instead of Ellerby was complaining the other day, as he always does, about scheduling 10 years out. Sometimes you got to schedule a week or 2 out, Chris, and it's cool to see that these things can get done.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons that Campbell feels so confident in this is the fact that, look, Bowie's Creek and Chapel Hill, we're not trying to make that comparison to anything, and this is one of those instances where it's a very good thing because of Campbell's smaller undergraduate population. Not just the athletes, but every student on campus was guaranteed their own dorm room, so they don't have to share. It's not like Greenville. You don't step off campus and go down to a streets of fun places where you can spend your Friday and Saturday nights. You have to go a little bit of a ways to get to your favorite watering hole around here. And you know what? If there is any place in this area that can do it and can pull it off and can keep down the spread when you're dealing with a couple of thousand of college students, it's right here in Bowie's Creek. So I think that's another reason, too, that football is taking these steps and feel confident. They've been testing guys as they come in. They're going to test the student athletes every week and cross their fingers and hope it works out, because it would be a lot of fun to see some Campbell football this fall.
All right, and a nice sales pitch there for parents listening on where to send their kids. I don't know if the kids really enjoyed what you had to say about Bowie's Creek and Campbell, but that sounded great to the parents. That was well done there, Chris Heymeyer.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. You've always been on my resume as a recommendation call.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to stay there, Clip, as usual.
Chris, enjoyed it as always, man. We'll track you down later on in the year, talk some more sports with you, but I hope you, your family, everybody's doing well there, and we'll check in with you again soon, man.
Same to you. Stay safe, everybody in Greenville, and thanks again for having me on.
An old familiar voice. Great to hear from Chris Heymeyer on the Fixed NC Live line. And that was pretty interesting that Campbell, again, 2 games. They have a September slate of 2 games, but Chris says they're going to go to 4. And I think pretty cool that the Big South is going to let their schools play 4 games. And, we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll get one of those big FCS over FBS upsets in 2020. All right, we'll take a timeout, come back. Get ready to wrap up hour number 1. Get set for hour number 2, where we'll talk about everything going on currently in the world of sports and things coming up in the world of sports with Wager McGhee. Also, Shirley, I did not mention we got to open up the booty bag today.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what we're giving away today?
No. Do you?
You don't have the list, do you?
We'll decide during the break. How about that?
Okay, well, I got the list, so we'll pick something out of there.
Sounds good. We'll be back on Pirate Radio Live after this.
There's nothing like Pirate Game Days.
He's got the ball. He starts right. He goes left, and there he goes. 10, 5, touchdown Pirates. Home Steelers takes it in from 21 yards out.
The sight of a tailgate. The roar of the crowd. Support the Pirate Club and buy your season tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com. We're in this together. All hands on deck. One Pirate Nation.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to feeling better. So don't suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone someone who cares.
CD's Grill in Winterville wants to thank you for all of your support during these crazy times. CD's Grill has the area's best country cooking, and you can come and enjoy a down-home breakfast or one of our daily country lunch specials at CD's Grill.
Hi, this is Lawrence Manning from my entire CD's Grill family. Thank you for all your support. And we invite you and your family and friends to try CD's Grill and taste for yourself the best country cooking around. Promise, CD's Grill.
CD's Grill, 111 West Spire Tower Road in Winterville.
I'm Dan Forrest, and I'm running for governor. Here's the simple truth. People need to work to live, so open the economy. Elderly people are dying of COVID, so protect the nursing homes. Kids need to be in school so they can learn, and parents can work, so open the schools. Our state needs a governor who has a plan beyond staying shut down forever. So elect Dan Forrest for governor. It's that simple. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Dan Forrest.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Live well, move more, and hurt less with Kinetic Physical Therapy. If you're recovering from an injury, getting back into sports, dealing with everyday pain or fatigue, then Kinetic Physical Therapy can help you get back on track and live well. Kinetic has national certified therapists for physical, occupational, speech, and massage therapy, all in a state-of-the-art facility on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. Visit kineticptgreenville.com. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live and Clip. I've got a quick scheduling update since we're keeping up with college football games that are going to be scheduled. The Citadel has now added Eastern Kentucky to their schedule. They will host them on Saturday, September 26th.
Okay. So that's FCS versus FCS then. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Interesting. That was from Wager McGhee, who we'll talk to in just a moment. So, Shirley, that's 2 additions for the Citadel we've seen today. The other was some small school in South Carolina.
Yeah, Clemson, I think.
Clemson.
Yeah.
And we just learned from Chris Heymeyer that Campbell will be playing 4 games this fall. There are 2 officially on their schedule right now. He says they will be playing 4. He did not say the other 2 opponents, but Wager McGhee, it's always good news to have these games being added seemingly every day. It makes me think that there's going to be football next month.
Yeah, we'll try to jinx that today, I guess. But I do too. And I was filling out the updated schedules for Conference USA, Sun Belt, all those teams yesterday when the SEC schedule came out. And I noticed Campbell on 2 schedules. I can't remember who they were on now, but I could flip through my pages and find it. So they're on 2.
Oh, they're on App State and Georgia Southern.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. That's the 2 right now, and then they're going to add 2 more, apparently. Wager, with these games being added, you've got your giant notebook with all of your Big Ten and Pac-12 and MAC and all that you got to throw away. Are you going to dive more into FCS since they will be playing at least 4 games, it looks like, some of these schools?
I don't know. I mean, there's no lines right now for anything either. So, I mean, usually
those come out like pretty late, right? The FCS lines.
I think they normally week 1 would be up already, but right now nobody's posting week 1.
When is week 1?
Well, I got on.
Is it still September 5th?
There is a game 2 weeks from tomorrow night.
All right.
USA and Southern Miss. Your favorite, USA.
USA. There's a game when?
2 weeks from tomorrow, Thursday, September 3rd, is the first college football game.
Oh, man.
USA and Southern Miss in Hattiesburg.
Is this for the happy news that we just heard?
Yes.
My brain can't wrap my brain around that.
Interesting. Here's another interesting.
I can't find my words.
Interesting thought, too, from our friend Phil Steele. So Southern Miss is the only Sun Belt team that had 0 spring football practices. I knew App State got completely through with their spring football, but they didn't go to a bowl game either. So
you love stuff like that. You're going to bank on. Yeah.
Well, Southern Miss had, if you want to look at it, they had some. They had a bowl game, so they're way far ahead of, South Alabama, who's still really young, is going to be better. We know they were.
So we're taking App, right? 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Oh, you mean Southern Miss?
Oh, you said Southern Miss versus USA?
Yeah, USA. I don't know what the line is. I mean, it's at Hattiesburg, so I'm guessing it's going to be above 2 touchdowns. It'll be in that.
You think there'll be fans there?
I don't know what
I'm getting so excited right now.
I think I've been thinking it was going to be like 25%, but I guess it'll be I mean, especially non-conference like that. It's going to be, I don't know how wide open Mississippi is right now, but you got to think they are, right? Their casinos are open in Biloxi, aren't they? If so, they're going to let...
You would know better than me.
25 people into whatever that stadium is in Hattiesburg.
Shirley, let's get our last break in here in hour number 1. We got hour 2 on the way with Wager McGhee. We'll talk a lot more football. I'm very excited that we're about 2 weeks away from a game. I just didn't realize that. I guess I should have. Also, Shirley, coming up in hour number 3, we will open up the Pirate Radio booty bag, and I'm going to let you reach inside and grab out a prize today. So what will we be giving away?
We will be giving away a gift card to Pop's Old Fashioned Cheeseburgers. I had Pop's for lunch today, as a matter of fact, and I had the best hamburger steak I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
That ought to tell you
That's
exactly.
a big claim.
You know, I'm a Southern girl. I love my hamburger steak, so I've had my fair share. So if I tell you it's the best one I've had, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
All right.
Had some mashed potatoes and gravy and some collards to go with it, baby.
You could have that fantastic meal if you win today's prize out of the Pirate Radio booty bag. We will give that away coming up in hour number 3. So stick around for that, and stick around for a whole lot of college football, NBA, maybe a little NHL. Wager's been good with NASCAR, golf. Got all that on the way on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Jonathan Ellerby, one of the proud owners and operators of Pirate Radio. As we launch into our 18th year in business, we have a lot of exciting new news to share with you. Our afternoon drive time show, Pirate Radio Live, has a new look and is now streaming every day from our brand new digital studio from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook Live, on our website, pr927fm.com, and in your car on 92.7 FM in Greenville and 104.1 in Washington. The new and improved PRL is hosted by Clip Brock and Shirley Rhodes, and will feature the latest breaking news, top-notch guests, and all your favorite Pirate Radio personalities, like The Voice, Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igo, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, plus Troy D. and myself. Give us a follow on social media at PR927FM for programming updates, guest alerts, and breaking news. Thank you for your loyalty and support, and I hope you enjoy the new and improved Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Hey, Pitt County Schools families, the month of August is here and school will certainly be different this year. If you are starting school 100% virtually or are attending school face-to-face on alternating weeks, we are looking forward to resuming the purpose of our system, and that's the education of the children in Pitt County in an excellent and a safe manner. For videos with our leaders, FAQs, and so much more information to answer your questions, visit our Road to Reopening page on our website at pittschools.org or keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Remember, we'll face this upcoming school year together because we are Pitt County Schools strong.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, save over $9,000 off on the all-new 2020 Buick Envision. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash on 10th Street is now open. The 10th Street location is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes will be good at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and now on East 10th Street. And coming soon, Haviland Express Lube and Pirates Cove Car Wash in New Bern.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
What's the big deal? Where can you get pizza, bread twists, specialty chicken, and more for just $5.99 each?
Is it at Domino's?
He hands off hand-tossed pizza and a marble cookie brownie. He's going!
There's a lot of variety on the radio and at Domino's too, where you can
Mix and match 2 or more. $5.99 each at Domino's.
2-item minimum. Pan pizza, bone-in wings, and bread bowls will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Great news, amigos. Chico's Dine-In Service is back open every day. Come and enjoy favorites like shrimp tacos, steak and chicken fajitas, burritos, enchiladas, ACP, and more. Chico's is still offering to-go and curbside service as well by calling 757-1666. Don't forget to stock up on Chico's famous margarita mix for only $9.99 per half gallon. Follow Chico's on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's for dine-in or to-go.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Got damage from wood rot, fixed. Damage from smoke or fire, fixed. Damage caused by water? Well, you guessed it, fixed. If you got damage, use a contractor that works for you and not your insurance.com today, or call 999-0001. That's 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Fixed NC. Restore, renew, maintain. And as we head back into Pirate Radio Live, I've got a couple of tidbits for you here, Clip. Liberty has added a couple of teams to their schedule. October 3rd, against North Alabama, and then on December 5th they will go on the road to take on Coastal Carolina. And John Rothstein is reporting that his sources are saying that Orlando has now emerged as a prime location to play multiple early season basketball tournaments in a bubble type setting. They're basically going off of the success that the NBA has. They just released a tweet that they have done another round of testing, 0 positive tests within that NBA bubble.
All right, this is August. John Rothstein update. That's fun. And man, I love those early season tournaments, the Thanksgiving time, and there's just basketball on all the time, and hopefully we can get those. And I've enjoyed the bubbles, and football's been off the beaten path. We're trying to get football played first, right? I meant basketball has been off the radar a little bit. We're trying to get football games in. It was funny to see Shirley giving her updates and Wager writing the games down in his notebook. So now, have you got your schedules full over there, Wager?
Well, I put those 2 games down for Liberty, and I think you were saying what BYU added Army. What weekend was that?
BYU Army. I do not have the date right in front of me. I'll have to look that up.
I mean, it's almost like the unveiling of the bracket at March Madness, isn't it? So it's like every day. Now, the Liberty one, we know that one it can just be in pencil, because at any point, everybody may just cancel them from the schedule since they're refusing to do testing, right?
September 19th, by the way, is BYU Army.
Okay. And that's at Provo? Do we know that?
Is who plays at Mitchie Stadium?
I believe that would be that's Army, right? Yeah, because it's Lavelle Edwards Stadium in BYU.
Okay, there you go.
At Army.
All right. BYU has a very eclectic football schedule. What? Run it down again.
They've got 5 games now. They're at Navy on Monday, Labor Day.
Man, this is so exciting.
They're at Navy Labor Day. They got the 12th off now. They play Army there on the 19th. They host Troy on the 26th. They play Houston on, I think it's Friday the 16th of October at home. And they also are playing North Alabama. North Alabama just stepping up and taking everybody on, I guess. I
kind of like that schedule. It's kind of fun, right? I mean, there's some pretty good teams up there. You got a couple of option teams. Houston can light it up, and Troy's good too, right? Pretty good.
I think they'll. It sounds like they're going to schedule. I mean, they're an independent, and they would normally fall into. I thought they, when Mountain West still might play, that they might fall in there like Notre Dame did with the ACC. But nobody out west is playing.
Yeah,
New Mexico State banged their season, so BYU is going to have to travel wherever they go or get people to go out there, which obviously Navy and Army is okay with doing that. So,
all right. So once again, it is Wednesday, August 19th. And you said, Wager, that there is a football game scheduled for Thursday, September 10th.
3rd, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
3rd. Oh, okay. See, I was even going further down. So the 3rd, and that was Southern Miss taking on USA, South Alabama.
Yep.
And that is the only game scheduled for that evening.
That's right. Yeah, and normally that first weekend, tons of games that get pushed that Thursday. It leads into Labor Day weekend as well. So for a lot of alums and everything else, and probably school, having that day off. But yeah, that's it. And there's right now, I think there's only 5 other games that entire weekend. Ugh. So yeah, it's a slow.
But hey, look, I'll take it. But that is not a college football Saturday.
No,
we're gonna have to do multiple bets on every game wager. What are we gonna do? We're gonna have to do first half, halftime overs.
Oh. That will be the most bet South Alabama game. I mean, even the Wednesday night, Fun Belt games against Troy is a standalone game. It'll be in wagering. There'll be props. Know your South Alabama quarterback.
Quarterback over under guys. 333 yards passing, that kind of stuff.
I think you're gonna have to.
Oh man! All right, so I am in a very good mood right now with all that going on. So where do you want to begin with the ties? Anything else college football wise outside of schedules to bring up? I mean,
SEC released their entire schedule. That was the big deal on Monday of this week. So they released that. Vegas or odds makers don't have official lines out, but somebody at the Action Network posted lines for that week. And it is at week 1. There's not much there. I mean, they're taking care of the big guys, kind of getting them into the season pretty easy. I think the best game that day is Ole Miss and Florida, or that weekend. There's one pick'em, South Carolina.
But we're talking
Tennessee.
Late in September, right?
26th, I think is the first weekend.
Yeah.
But that'll be the first game that they play. So.
That was my first thought when Shirley ran down the schedule too. That it was like, oh man, it's SEC, but it's not very top heavy, attractive.
No, games. It's Texas A&M at playing Vandy, and according to Action Network, these were lines. They were 37-point favorite. LSU is a 26-point favorite of Mississippi State. That's going to be pretty interesting, though. New quarterback for LSU, Mike Leach. And Costello, the transfer from Stanford, that's their quarterback at Mississippi State now. Georgia, a 24-point favorite against their former offensive line coach at Arkansas. Bama, almost 20 points at Missouri with the new head coach. I mean, that's the thing. You got new head coaches playing the best 2 teams on the East and West with no spring training, no practice, new quarterbacks playing for them. So there's a whole lot of bad situations there. Drinkwitz they were saying he's not even he even said it yesterday. He's not going to tell who's going to be quarterback until the day of. So Alabama has to try to figure out between 3 or 4 guys. You got a transfer. They've got a true freshman. Make them study different systems, how they're going to play. Auburn 11 against Kentucky, I think is a pretty good game. Against Florida, 8 against Ole Miss with Ole Miss quarterback and Kiffin there. That's going to be a fun shootout. It's the best game of the weekend. And then South Carolina, Tennessee's a pick, but again, that's a bird box game, so I'm not that excited about it. I'll take Florida, Ole Miss, and interested in seeing how Newman does at Georgia as quarterback. Want to see what Leach does with Costello at Mississippi State in that offense. I think, and the LSU new quarterback, even though it's a big line, I kind of like the State plus some points in that one. But Florida and Ole Miss against John Reese Plumlee, that Ole Miss quarterback that runs a 4.3 that kind of burst on the scene last year. That should be to me. That's the best game of the weekend.
Do you have Do you have the week 2 lines like ECU Marshall? Do you know what that is right now?
They haven't released any of these. Again, this was a guy that specialized in, and he just released it. You can't online and Vegas. None of those people have football lines out right now. I think they're just.
I don't even see college football offered on this.
I think they're waiting until. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, traditionally, once you get into the season, right, it's the Sunday before game. So the NFL board kind of clears, and they'll release the NCAA games.
Well, we're 15 days out. It's time to get a bet in on Southern Miss, South Alabama.
It's a little bit of a different situation this year, though.
Yeah, but I have the edge over Vegas because I talked to you and Phil Steele.
I'm guessing it's probably because of COVID testing that they're probably going to hit that Saturday or Sunday, and they're going to do one last round of testing for everybody, and then they'll release that. I mean, if you have, the starting quarterback for Southern Miss, who's the key for that guy, tests positive and goes out, the line's going to change. So we'll see how that's done during the season. I'm guessing, is it going to be every Sunday that colleges test? So you're going to know that information every Monday NFL test?
Temple, I saw yesterday, said they had 5 or 6 players opting out, and they didn't say who it was. Now, you can find out who that is pretty easy, but aren't some schools not saying, they don't say the names of the players that are opting out, and they don't have to release an injury report. Like, I think unless you find out on your own, you're not really going to know in time for a lot of these cases.
I mean, I guess
you might have a number of players, but you're not going to know who and if they matter.
Find a main beat writer for every one of these teams.
No, I was thinking about it. Like, the wise guys in the past probably had an in not only with the team, but like with the team medical staff too, right? Because they had to know injuries. So now that's super important for this year.
That's why, you hear those old stories that the wise guys and the guys that really were in tune with all that stuff and knew somebody inside, they had information that even maybe the odds makers didn't have. Those days are almost gone because of the internet. But what do you believe on who's playing, who's not, who's injured, who's out? There's going to be tons of that this year with, he tested positive or he didn't test, and, putting the name out there of the wrong person that tested positive that, you could jump on. I think there'll be games going on and off the board all the time. So it may be the Tuesday before a college football game or Wednesday before Vegas actually puts numbers up on the board.
I was parked near Clemson's quarantine dorm, and I thought I saw a male with long hair riding in. I think it was Trevor Lawrence going to the quarantine dorm. Is he out this week? I don't know, but I'm just putting that out. Like, you're going to see stuff like that popping up everywhere, and it's going to end up being that girl that kind of looks like Trevor Lawrence that was on the internet last year. Something like that. All right. Anyway, where do you want to start? Like, what do we do with basketball? I've gone through. Like, I used to just go sides, and then I was in a point in the bubble where I would just go overs. Now I'm prop Brock. Like, I'm only doing props, player props. That's the only thing I trust anymore, almost.
Yeah.
Having said that, I do have the Nuggets money line today.
We talked about it. I like Jokic. How can you not? The numbers are going to be way inflated, but how can you not like Luka tonight against the Clippers in that? I mean, he's almost unstoppable. Yeah,
without a lot of help. Is that fair to say?
Porzingis
is all right, but
he played 2.5 quarters or whatever in that last game. So, and still whatever numbers.
Kind of like Porzingis props tonight because they're not going to throw him out twice in a row. He's going to get his tonight.
You would hope not. I think Giannis rebounds and assists for me are going to be a lock in that. I mean, he got both yesterday. And the Magic shot like 50%. All those guys, I put that in the notes here. Those guys, the Magic big guys, are just camped out behind the 3-point line and just shooting. So there's nobody under the basket. So they either hit it or they miss it, and they miss it. The Bucks are clearing out and running back up. So he can just not even jump, and the ball just falls to him. So
I guess we can talk games and matchups real quick. I'm going Nuggets today. I just like them against the Jazz. Tonight, Sixers and Celtics. Celtics are a favorite in that one, 214 total. And then Clippers, Mavericks. Mavericks 229 is the total. Clippers are the favorite by 5.5. So looking at these games, I do have a question for you from Brian North as well regarding these games.
Okay.
Are the totals down since the playoffs started, or am I making that up?
No, I think they are. I mean, I think everybody expected to see that. That was the big question, right? All these games that were 130 to 120 in the bubble, for the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the playoffs, with the bubble, effect of like exhibition, no intensity on defense, shooting carry over through the playoffs when things usually slow down and scoring slows down a little bit. I mean, it's been a mixed bag, right? I mean, that first Raptors Nets game was just like the Nets games, far in the bubble. Yeah. Whatever it was, 122, 108 or something like that, and flew over. But then today was a 104-99 game, slow pace. And, I think a lot of people like the under because that game was so high scoring to begin with. I don't think it's that easy. If it's that easy, then we should be doing that. Just go the opposite of what game one is. I think we'll see a lot of that from the Clippers Mavs tonight because until Porzingis got thrown out, that game was on pace for 250 plus.
So I see like 229 tonight. You would go over on that?
I think so. I don't know how those teams play any different. They were playing the same style. It just changed when he went out. But unless I can't imagine the Clips are resting anybody. Now I don't know on Beverly. He didn't play, right? So Beverly was out, which helps him and changes things a little bit defensively. But yeah, I I'd expect the Bucks to play a whole lot better, but I thought the Raptors would as well because they struggled early and they didn't cover today. So I think it's survive and advance a little bit. I still think, though, and I think we talked about it, this whole time when we were hoping that the Blazers got that 8th seed. I would keep playing Portland. Portland's +6 in Game 2. When you got the best player right now, best scoring player in the NBA that they can't guard, and it doesn't even matter if they wait to guard him because he just shoots and hits shots as soon as he comes across half court. You can't defend that. And if you keep playing out farther and farther, it just opens the Lakers up. And the Lakers' offense just doesn't seem to be.
The Lakers are not good. LeBron James is good, and Anthony Davis is good. Who else is good?
That's about it.
I mean, they just brick 3 after 3 after 3 last night because they would be wide open because everybody's focused on those other guys. Anthony Davis, what was he doing in the second half? That's a prop that Brock lost because Anthony Davis decided not to score the entire second half.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, I don't know. Even with all that stuff, I just missed Dame on his points, but I can't see how you change, how that series is going to play. It's not going to change dramatically, I don't think, in Game 2.
Let's get a break in. We'll come back. We got a doubleheader with NASCAR this weekend. We got to hit that. We'll hit Wager's kind of down because he missed some soccer plays, so he's not his normal self. You got to make up for that. Give us a winner coming up tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Good God. Rudy Gobert just flopped 3 times on one play, and Jokic scores for the Nuggets. All right, let's take a timeout, come back, have more for you on Pirate Radio Live after this.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Did you know you can help prevent natural gas emergencies? Whether you're planting a tree, putting up a fence, landscaping, or starting an excavation project, Greenville Utilities strongly encourages you to follow the law and call NC 811. Even minor contact with the natural gas pipeline could cause a natural gas emergency. Before digging or excavation of any kind, North Carolina law requires you call NC 811. Please call at least 3 full working days in advance so all utility lines can be professionally marked prior to digging. Stay safe, avoid damages, and call 811 before you dig.
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was $700 off.
What? Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. US Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line port in credit approval qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
It's time to get back in the saddle with Rocking Horse Ranch. Join us on Saturday, November the 14th at 400 St. Andrews for an evening full of games, prizes, and more as we gather around to help support the reopening of the Rocking Horse Ranch Therapeutic Riding Program. Rocking Horse provides a fun and unique therapy program to our special needs, cancer, and veterans community. Our loving horses miss their favorite students and can't wait to see them again soon. Rocking Horse can't do this without you. Join us on Saturday, November the 14th to get back in the saddle and support Rocking Horse Ranch.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
It's summertime, and it's no better time to drive away with the quality pre-owned car, truck from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust in our team to improve your vehicle's off-road experience. Give us a call for more information, 252-364-8730. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bill's Fork.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. At Villa Verde on 10th Street and Villa Verde Dos by the hospital are open for you, serving unique and healthy dishes from the Dominican Republic. Order online at myvillaverde.com or the Villa Verde app. Order a family meal that feeds 6 to 7 people, and they'll have it ready for curbside pickup today. Whether it's dine-in or take-out, Villa Verde is a platform for good. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right. Thank you, Shirley Rhodes. We are day-to-day with all the breaking news and updates and everything going on, but I do like to look ahead at what will I be paying attention to and enjoying in the world of sports, and I've started to look a little bit. Wager McGhee is here, by the way. Wager at when the NBA will return for its next season. And I'm starting to see like March, perhaps, on that. Like not December, not Christmas, which would be nice, but maybe later in the year. So, if we're able to get some NFL, that'd be all good. If I could watch that till February, then basketball, maybe hockey returns. But I did see that Bundesliga will start on September 18th. ESPN Plus, the new home of the Bundesliga, the German professional soccer league. And you've also got like Premier League in the UK, and also Serie A, I believe, beginning pretty soon as well. So you'll have your pro soccer going on. Again, I'm not rushing away these NHL and NBA playoffs, but I was just looking ahead at when they might begin their new seasons.
One better, Ligue 1. However, I don't speak French, but their main soccer, the one that PSG is in, and Lyon, who's playing Bayern today.
How are they doing?
They're still down 2-0. Should have had 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. So, but after that, then the best keeper in the world shuts them down. That 2021 season starts on Friday. This Friday, 2 days from now. Good. League 1, France, who I believe dealt with the COVID crisis a little bit and shut their entire country down, is beginning their NFL basically this Friday.
Wow. So. Okay. So, we're planning on just having sports to watch every day, basically.
Yeah, I don't know who has that TV deal, if anybody pays attention to it, but PSG
it's got to be somewhere. ESPN picked up a lot of stuff before sports returned in America, like different soccer leagues and things like that.
Yeah. So, I don't. Maybe League 1 slides into Fox, or maybe just BN or something like that. They've always struggled, I think, for coverage, especially if ESPN's gone now. They've got Serie A, the Italian league, and also Bundesliga.
Updates from today. So the Lightning win in overtime. Does that mean they won their series?
Yes.
Okay, so they advance. The Hurricanes right now are scoreless with the Bruins. 15 minutes left to go in the first period of that. NBA action, the Raptors screwed around for a while, but they did end up beating the Nets 104-99, and right now the Jazz have an early 17-13 lead over the Denver Nuggets. I feel like Wager, we used to do this. You should have like a Wager McGee's Lock of the Day or something. Do you have anything for us today? Luka props.
Luka props will get a look for sure.
I tell you what, I hit the other night pretty easily was Jason Tatum props.
Yeah,
and I might go back to that well again.
Hey, why not? Hayward's out, so you would think that there's going to be more. I don't know if it was rebounds and assists and things like that, but the ball would have to come through there a little bit more. As we were talking, the pace, although as we've seen now, game 1 to game 2, it's changed a little bit already. We'll see on the Celtics game, but that Clippers-Mavs, the Mavs just don't seem to know how to play except for at one pace, and that game was headed to about 250 until Porzingis got kicked out, and it's 230, but man, it's the slowness of that Raptors game. It kind of scares me for day 2, but that was a noon start. So, all
right, so the total in the Clippers-Mavs you're looking at as well, and going over.
Luka props, ATB, across the board.
All right, ATB. How about this weekend? Let's go to, do you got any golf and NASCAR for us today?
Playoffs starting golf, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Northern Trust, it's a tournament they left out of the FedEx Cup last year. I guess they shortened it down to three events, but yeah, it starts, and Koepka pulled out today, but everybody else is playing, so just because of the shortened season and with the FedEx Cup. So it seems to be a similar course like the PGA course from a couple of weeks ago. If you can just bomb it, it favors you. There's a little bit of rough that protects it, but outside of that, there's not much else. If you look at the past few years of people who have won it, it does favor them. DeChambeau, however you say his name. Some of the long hitters and things have won that tournament. So everybody at the top of it is kind of in that number. I'm kind of going back to Jason Day, who I had for a PGA tournament as well. Just he continues to play well on there. I may take a shot at him because he is at 22-1. Patrick Reed, kind of in that same way, played well, got snuck into the top 10 last week, but I don't like BDC, but I do think that he's worth a bet. He's 11-1 as the favorite, DeChambeau. So
with these playoff, now that we're here, does that mean everybody's participating for the most part?
Yeah, I mean, it's top 125 should be playing and participating, and I don't know how they're knocking it down this year with.
Do they do like NASCAR where you have to finish at a certain ranking to continue or whatever?
Yeah, so that's why that last week it's always weird. It's whoever wins it usually, which should be the case. So wins at East Lake wins the whole thing. But I think they're in top. It's down the top like 24-30 or something by that last week of the playoffs.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, there's a few guys. So that's it for golf.
Important to get a start. Yep. I like and Morikawa, of course. He's 20-1 again. I mean, he won 2 weeks ago. He was off last week. I thought our days of getting Morikawa at 20-1 were over. People just don't realize he's the next generation's Tiger Woods. But hey, take advantage of it and get him 20-1. So major winner. This is just like a major field. Again, the course is very similar to what it was 2 weeks ago. I mean, he converted there. So.
All right, on to NASCAR. Last week, you liked 19 quite a bit, and he would have won if he did not speed through pit, right?
I don't know. I mean, 9 was strong, so it would have been good. It would have been a much better finish than what it was at the end.
He was able to go from the back all the way to third. I mean,
I had him, so I'm going to say yes. But I mean, we disrespect the 9 a little bit here, but we bet him some early in the year. He's won 3 of the 5 last road races, so he's becoming the road course specialist here.
There was a weird thing on Twitter I saw because I kept searching Truex's name once he went all the way to the back of the field. I was like, I'm not watching this crap anymore. But then I would search his name on Twitter to see how much he was climbing back up, and there was a lot of Elliott fans versus Truex fans about who's the best road course racer. And I didn't know that was a beef. Apparently it is.
I didn't either. I could see that. I mean, they split them last 2 years. They've won 2 and 2, and now Elliott won this one. I don't know if there's another one. I think there is. I think we were correct on that one.
Charlotte Roval.
Yeah, the Roval. It's going to be one in the for the playoffs, right?
Yep.
So we'll see. I like the idea that they throw one of those into the playoffs. So Hamlin ran well. The 4 is good there as well. I mean, he's a good road course guy, so I don't think it's going to kind of mess it up, and we're still not going to get the best driver. But
we will talk about the doubleheader. I thought the Hurricanes just scored a goal. The puck went in the back of the net, but now the officials are talking, so we will see what happens with that. So back-to-back at Dover this week, Wager.
Yeah.
Just going to go with Kevin Harvick. Well, is this where Jimmy Johnson used to always win?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's dominated there a lot. So I mean, it's not one where you're going to take a flyer on, I think, somebody from the back of the pack. This has been a pretty much one of the top drivers and one of the best drivers currently at that point, and up close to starting. It's a little bit different now with owners' points being where they start. But now the interesting thing there, nobody's won from the pole position since 2011 there, and that's going to be Harvick. But then 3 of the last 5 years, the guy on the sitting outside front row, which is the 11, Hamlin, has won it 3 of the last 5 times. So Truex is the favorite again, though, which is amazing to me. I'm all on the Truex bandwagon. But 2 weeks in a row, we keep kind of like thinking the 4, it's got to change it up a little bit. So Truex is the betting favorite. Then Harvick is next. Then Hamlin's next. And so it's on and on. I think there's a little bit of, Hamlin, is the 4th pick. I think Elliott's the 3rd. I kind of like Hamlin being at the 2 position right there, on the front row. He's 7-1 to win it. So he runs well there, not great, not as good as the 4 and the 11 always do. So, the 4 and the 19.
Okay, all right, that was confusing.
Yeah. I got to say names now. I'm jumping between names, numbers, betting numbers. So, I know you love the top 5 picks, so just bet Harvick.
I don't love it. It's a weak play. So I told you off the air last week I picked Truex to win. Come to find out, I accidentally said Truex to win the Cup Championship.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that measly money sitting in there for months and months. So I pulled it out and then decided to just go top 5. And I'm glad I did. Ended up working.
This week, too, you want to do that. So Truex has been he's been in the top 5, 6 of the last.
He's been 3rd, like 3 or 4 or 5 races in a row or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But the Monster Mile, Dover, he's been top 4 in 6 of the last 7 races there. So
pretty consistent.
Likes the track, runs well there. That's why he's the betting favorite. Harvick, the number 4, is right there, kind of behind him. He was 4th in both races last year. He's had 4 straight top 6 finishes. Hamlin's okay. He's not great, so I get it why he's the 4th pick there. He's had 3 straight top 4s. He was runner-up in 2018. I don't know. I was just looking for some value here, but, if the 4 or the 19 win it, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm going to play the 11, Hamlin. I might play Keselowski a little bit. He's 15-1, which seems a little bit too much getting out of it here, that maybe anytime where it's like just focus on those 2 or 3 guys, it always seems like Brad gets up there and wins a race. And 15-1, that's pretty good value. So,
but your best play is what? Truex top 5. Top 3.
Yeah.
You get a little more value with 3, obviously.
Yeah, top 3, you're probably, I don't know if it'll pay 2-1 or if it's going to be like plus 160 or 180 or something like that, but he consistently is there. He's starting 7th. It's not like he's got to go through a bunch of traffic. It's not, road course wise, but.
All right, there's a little NASCAR, a little golf for you. Let's take another time out. We'll come back. More to go with Wager McGhee as we look around the world of sports from a gambling perspective. Also, if there's any breaking news, there seems to be a new scheduled game being added. Shirley, you got something?
Canes update. They're up 1-0.
Yeah, the puck hit the back of the net. I don't know why the officials got together, but it is a goal. Hurricanes up 1-0 on Bay Live. More to go on Pirate Radio Live after this.
We're midway through bath time, and 2 medium, 2-topping Domino's pizzas for $5.99 each have begun their drive to the Smith's front door. That's a GPS-enabled custom delivery alert, folks. The newest improvement to the Domino's tracker, saying Domino's will be there in 2 minutes. They're calling it audible. Bath time's now rinse time. They've got 1 kid dry, 2 kids dry. The pizzas are here. They made it to the door. The kids are clean enough. The new Domino's tracker with GPS worked again.
2 at a minimum. Pan pizza will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
UBE and PireWare.com are proud to be the largest supplier of officially licensed ECU products in the world. Be sure to visit UBE's Instagram page at PirateWareUBE to qualify for another one of UBE's big giveaways. Going on now, you can win an ECU dock box valued at $250. One lucky Pirate fan will win this Friday, August the 21st. Once again, follow them on Instagram at PirateWareUBE for your chance to win big. Go Pirates!
This is Dr. Elizabeth Robinson with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our extended care clinic is open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our office on W.H. Smith Boulevard. We treat a variety of urgent orthopedic conditions without an appointment. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at www.orthoeast.com.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
It's summertime and it's no better time to drive away with the quality pre-owned car truck from Greenville Auto World. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Are you planning that summer trip by car? We'll get you set for that trip with an oil change and 27-point inspection. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bill's Fork.
This is Stephen Igo, publisher of HoistTheColors.net. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any college sports program, and no one devotes more coverage to the future of ECU athletics than Hoist the Colors. Want to know who's going to be the next Holton Ahlers or Jaden Gardner? We've got all the inside scoop on the Pirates' most talented recruits and top targets 24/7. Sign up now and get your first month of coverage for a single $1. HoistTheColors.net, the most reliable reporting on ECU athletics.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Got Chandler running the video production today. Got some Mike Houston comments coming your way. In hour number 3, we'll visit with the voice, Jeff Charles, talk sports topics with Jeff. And also Bryce Williams, former ECU tight end, going to join us in the studio. Wager McGhee is here now. And, man, one thing I wish would stick around once we get back to our normal sports schedule is the abnormal sports schedule of games on all day, every day. That would be great. Because I'm loving the noon basketball. We had morning hockey. The Raptors knocking off the Nets 104-99, so they take a 2-0 series lead there. Right now, the Jazz have a 27-25 lead over the Nuggets as they get ready to enter the second quarter. In hockey, it was Lightning 5, Blue Jackets 4. In overtime, Tampa wins the series 4-1. Hurricanes trying to stave off elimination. They are up 1-0 over the Bruins with 5:40 left to go in the first. Little day baseball as well. Red Sox. Shirley, the Red Sox are winning. They're beating the Phillies 5-3.
Oh, my goodness.
It's happening.
Hold on. Thank you.
The Boston Red Sox. Although that lead is not safe. 5-3 in the 8th, not safe. So, Yeah, go ahead and shut that off. Cardinals, there you go.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Cubs. Cardinals lead 7-1. Cardinals are in day, 2 or 3 of their doubleheader-a-thon, where they're just going to play baseball nonstop. Cubs and Pirates really got screwed on that deal, and I guess the other teams, too, that they have to make up games with. But just because some of their guys went to a casino, now they have to suffer, the other teams, because they have to play all those doubleheaders. All right, so enjoying the day action. Wager McGhee, like myself, has not had a great day. Here's the downside of sports on all day is you can really lose early. Like, you can't even make it home to get dinner with the family and then watch a game late. Like, all your stuff's gone by then if you don't do it right.
Yeah, you kind of head home in a bad mood. Potentially the old daytime mistress doesn't go well. But you probably only have one more round, maybe of a noon 1:30 games. I got a feeling when you get to the next round, and not to, again, another disappointing thing there, that maybe the 4 o'clock game is the earliest game you get. It may not even be, and eventually once they get to semis and things like that, you're probably at 7:30 and 10 p.m. at both places.
Yeah, I wonder if they do that, because even with these quadruple headers, like the NBA game last night was scheduled at 9. It probably tipped off a little later, but that's much better than your 10:30, start time. So maybe they'll go earlier for these, round 2 and conference semis and things like that.
They might. I think baseball's doing that, right? So I don't think I think the West Coast games are starting an hour earlier. Maybe. Did I see that? So I mean, with no fans, it doesn't matter, right? So you're not trying to make sure people can get in the gates and get to their seats with popcorn and beer and stuff before. So I think that at this point they're just probably trying to do it to when they get to that point, they'll be managing the rest for guys, making sure there's still 48 hours. I guess they'll do every other day for which is a little bit more than what they normally do, because on those travel days and a long 7-game series at the finals, you can get 2 days in between there. But I don't think they'll be trying to stay on any sort of a TV schedule and getting primetime Saturday night games in.
Wager, I know you don't miss preseason NFL from a gambling standpoint, right? You're not that big of a degenerate that you would gamble on that stuff.
I think I may pay attention to it. I think that week 3, when you know that the starters are going to play a little bit, you can find stats that support anything. There's certain coaches that take it more serious than other ones, and people bet it and think it's pretty easy bet there. This week a little sad that the CFL got banged though. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No Rough Riders and Rough Riders. Big Calgary Stampede fan, and the Edmonton Eskimos, although I think they're changing their name.
What do you just like every team?
Yeah, Warren Moon with Edmonton. There's some history that
the Edmonton football team.
Yeah,
is that what they're called right now?
I think they are changing their name, so they're. I don't know if they don't have a season this year, so they're not anything right now.
I still can't wrap my brain around how close we are to even NFL. Just because there's no preseason, I've yet to watch Hard Knocks. I finally got some chatter going with my fantasy football leagues about keepers and drafts and things like that. But it's just so out of sight, out of mind for me right now.
I mean, it is. We said 2 weeks from tomorrow, USA and Southern Miss, South Alabama and Southern Miss play. 3 weeks from tomorrow. I mean,
Chiefs Texans.
Yeah, I mean Chiefs Texans, which is going to be a great game. I mean, Mahomes and Watson and all the talent on the field, just letting it fly. You would think. I did put together that of last year, new head coaches in week 1 when they had all the offseason time to prepare, all the preseason camps to prepare, all the games to prepare, were still 1-6-1 straight up and 2-6 against the spread in week 1. I think there's going to be some carryover for that in weeks 2 and week 3 as well. So week 1's got to be a little bit like a preseason game for them, right? I mean, yeah, Ron Rivera and Mike McCarthy's a little bit different than Matt Rule and Joe Judge.
Yeah,
true. The other one is. So there's one more. Who's the 5th one? Kevin Stefanski. There's your
It just
5.
sounds like he's going to suck. I'm sorry.
Well, he's the Vikings offense coordinator, so I don't, it's not like the Vikings offense, performed well in primetime games, and he's the Browns. So
wait, you're going to blame him and not Kirk Cousins for that?
Somebody's got to put the calls in. I'm going to be looking to fade all those coaches in week 1, and maybe look to fade them in week 2. I mean, every single one of them, you talk about, Carolina, although I love Teddy, you got a new quarterback, you got a coach, and they got a 30-year offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, the kid from LSU that, made Burrow a star. Judge with the Giants has been the special teams coach for the Patriots the last 6 years. Nobody's ever, when everybody talks about the dynasty of the Patriots, the special teams never gets mentioned.
Matthew Slater, it was a key part to all that.
And then, with Patricia, Josh McDaniels, those assistant coaches have not jumped to another team as head coach and had success anyway.
Romeo Crennel was all right.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And Charlie Weiss.
Yeah.
Another
See, there you go.
Yeah.
And you like Rivera, but he's Eagles and he's at Arizona. That's a tough two matchups. And then, you may have Alex Smith at quarterback.
It don't matter how much I like Rivera. The football team,
and you got no running back because he's in a little.
They have 7 running backs. They have Adrian Peterson trying to break a record. He's going to be more motivated than anybody.
Your guys.
Terry McLaurin's going to have 122 catches this year.
Stefanski, whatever you say his name is, Browns, their new head coach last year, Freddie Kitchens, rolled into week 1 with expectations of winning the Super Bowl, and
they realized he couldn't coach.
The Titans beat them 43-13, and now they go to Baltimore, and then week 2 they turn around on a short week of Thursday and play Cincy, which is a tough turnaround, so I don't like that. And McCarthy's got at Rams and Falcons in the first 2 weeks. So fade new head coaches. There's 5 of them.
Was it Dan Horde, the Bengals play-by-play guy we had on the show recently? And he's a classy gentleman, and I just found it funny that he was like, well, the Bengals, are in a tough spot, and with the Ravens and Steelers, and well, at least he said, and now that the Browns got rid of that guy that didn't know how to coach, they could be a problem too. Like everybody was banging on Freddie Kitchens, so he is gone, and I don't know. I can't. I gotta get in the NFL zone. I gotta believe it's gonna happen 100% and dive in.
I had to look it up and see, and then I forgot that. Remember, the Giants hired Jason Garrett as offensive coordinator before they hired their head coach.
Yeah,
but he's a good offensive coordinator. But I just don't know. Still, again, the Patriots special teams coach, I don't think is going to be the next Bill Belichick. So. I kind of think Rivera is the best of all, and McCarthy's been out of the game for a couple years, and Dallas can be a little bit of a mess with Dak and the contract, and they got more talent than anybody there, but Jerry Jones is going to be expecting to win a Super Bowl this year. If not, McCarthy could be one and done.
I'm not going to disparage anyone that has to do live radio. I know it's tough to fill time, but I still think back to, I don't even know when this was. I don't even know if a lot of sports were going on at the time, so they were looking for any kind of topic. It was when the Drew Brees stuff was going on, because the host of the show said, all right, I'm ready to make a week 1 bet right now. And it was, is it Bucks Saints week 1? He said Bucks first quarter over the Saints, because Drew Brees is going to be so confused about what to do when the national anthem's playing, and then he's going to get booed either way. So take the Bucks, right? Like, they were throwing out first quarter NFL week 1 lines back in June, and I absolutely love that.
I think that
game, do you have one of those stupid bets for us today?
No, I don't. But I remember the thing, though. I think those games are still on the board, NFL. And the Saints are a small favorite. And isn't it the first time in like 10 years or something Tom Brady's been an underdog in a game, I believe? It's a ridiculous number, but so Brady's going to go week 1.
They've been dogs to I was thinking back to like Peyton and the Colts, but you said in 10 years.
Yeah, I think he hadn't been a dog in whatever number that is. So he's going to roll out, but you were naturally. In most of these situations, we're talking about head coaches. Same thing with a new quarterback that hasn't worked with it, but. He's been running off-season practices, and he's got Gronk that's going to be right there with him. So I don't think Brady rolling into week 1 without much of a practice with his team is going to be that much of a difference. So
Saints minus 3.5.
There you go. You can find that stat somewhere. The last time Brady was an underdog, because he wasn't an underdog to the Rams in the Super Bowl.
The Raiders are road favorites against an East Coast team in the Carolina Panthers, and I know why, because they have a new head coach, new coordinators, new quarterback, new everything. But I'll be betting on the Panthers that day. Wow. Teddy Bridgewater, big debut. Panthers win, and then they stink the rest of the year. Why are the Raiders? The Raiders, they're not any good.
They're not. I think that's perception of the loss of some key defensive parts and obviously offense on the Panthers. Everybody Vegas knows the stat about new head coaches, so they're not going to let and it's Las Vegas too, so they're not going to get the whole home team.
Do they know the stats about Christian McCaffrey? Chandler, you're with me, right?
The last time Tom Brady was an underdog was in November 30th of 2014.
So 6 years
when they went to Green Bay.
All right, Aaron Rodgers. Right. That would have been a good trivia question. Who was the quarterback last time Brady was a dog? That's good. Hey, you didn't answer. You're a Panthers fan. You like the Panthers week 1?
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. See,
true fan.
He's in.
I don't mind it either there, but I mean, because they're at home, right? Or they going to Vegas? It doesn't matter. If Vegas,
they're not going to have
they're not going to have fans.
Yeah,
so
that stinks.
Wait, we could.
Yeah, no.
Well, Vegas is,
but you're not.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm down.
I don't
on that.
think we are, but there is a possibility, maybe.
There's
depending on what the governor does.
You can't say anything is 100%, but I don't see it happening. But
it's he's not making a ruling about Phase 3 until September 11th, right? So
yeah, but you got to think
2 days before.
But he might could do it a week ahead, like you said the other day.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to have to at least make some kind of statement about these games, these sporting events beforehand, right? Or not. You're right. They don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could just do a 48-hour turnaround if they're going to let like 10,000.
But what about Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium and Truist Field? Is that what they call Wake Forest now?
Oh, are they?
It's not BB&T anymore.
Yes, Truist.
And there's like 4 college games in the state of North Carolina that Saturday, so the day after September 11th. So I don't know. They're going to have to come up with something before that date, I would think. It would be kind of comical if on September 11th at 4:30 in the afternoon they said, all right, you can have fans tomorrow, 20%. Good luck figuring that out.
Well, NASCAR, right, the Charlotte track got an exemption from him.
They didn't have fans. But it had a bunch of people.
They had like 5,000 people in the infield, so that even at that point, it couldn't be a gathering of more than 25 people, and you had all those people in RVs and trailers.
No, you can get exemptions.
So I think they're going to have to do the same thing because you're going to have more than that just in the stadium, just run the game.
And I think you could have fans. I do. I mean, NASCAR's doing it now.
Yeah, I mean, if you go 10% was passed by the by the Senate and the House, and Cooper just, he didn't pass it. He vetoed it or whatever. But it's been out there for about a month that 10% for stadiums was passed. So whatever that is, what's 10% of Bank of America and Truist Field and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's going to be the high-end donors for college side, right? 5,000 people, the highest-end donors.
Yeah, I mean, Dowdy-Ficklin's 50, so you would say.
You'll have 5,000 people.
But how many students you letting in? Well, they're the ones with all the carrying all the.
They're the ones hosting the COVID parties. I say 0, and I know they're the future donors.
Sorry, kids.
The Pirate Club, but no, you let the current ones that are supporting and paying the freight in, and the future ones get in October or November when they stop having COVID parties.
I saw Redbeard, and Shirley didn't take the bait. He said to get the bad news music ready, but. Notre Dame is pausing football practice for a day to address team questions related to the school's decision to move all classes online for 2 weeks. So, final question: does it make you nervous at all about the classes going to online only, like at Chapel Hill, South Bend? Does that make you nervous for football?
It doesn't make me nervous for football. It just supports the fact even more that these kids aren't students. Let's just take the student out of it. They're showing up to work and generate millions of dollars of revenue for the university. That's what that whole thing is. He's got to pause it a little bit to say, how can I now continue to say these guys aren't employees that we're making work when all the other students are not allowed on campus and these guys are having to come to campus?
But their own scholarship, Wager, you know that they can take their scholarship and go pay their utility bill with it, right?
Yes, and you do that. Yep. You can take that down to like a Bojangles, and when somebody says that'll be $5, it's like, here's my scholarship.
I want $5 of gas.
Yep.
Here's my history class that I'm signed up for.
That works all the time for those guys. So I don't know why anybody would complain that they shouldn't ask for money.
Oh man!
So I think that's it. Everybody else. You got to keep in-person classes like alive. If not, these kids are employees, and at some point somebody will unionize and figure that out and ask for a little portion of that TV money that that only people are tuning in to watch the Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence anyway. So
there you go. All right, well, there's a very tall man in the Studio B. He is Bryce Williams. We will get to him in hour number 3. We'll visit with the voice, Jeff Charles, and we will say goodbye to Wager McGhee. Wager, thanks for hanging out today.
Thanks for letting me hang out.
We will see you hopefully next week.
Hopefully.
I will see you. They won't, but I will.
Back sponsorship.
So sign up, folks, if you want your business on Wagers Back. You can get it for a great deal. Call 317-1250. We will take a timeout, come back, hour number 3 on the way after this.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
Back to school is here, and the Auto Store Group is committed to helping our customers drive the best quality pre-owned vehicles and is committed to caring about our kids and our community. This is Bryce Williams from the Auto Store Group, and right now during our Backpack to School event, every time we sell a vehicle, we'll be making a $50 donation to any local school that the customer chooses. The Auto Store Group, 3 locations, over 150 vehicles online at theautostoregroup.com, and most importantly, proud members of the Eastern North Carolina community for over 38 years.
Hey, Pitt County Schools families, the month of August is here and school will certainly be different this year. If you are starting school 100% virtually or are attending school face-to-face on alternating weeks, we are looking forward to resuming the purpose of our system, and that's the education of the children in Pitt County in an excellent and a safe manner. For videos with our leaders, FAQs, and so much more information to answer your questions, visit our Road to Reopening page on our website at pittschools.org or keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Remember, we'll face this upcoming school year together because we are Pitt County Schools strong.
There's nothing like Pirate Game Days.
He's got the ball. He starts right. He goes left, and there he goes. 10, 5, touchdown Pirates. Hope Nailers takes it in from 21 yards out.
The sight of a tailgate. The roar of the crowd. Support the Pirate Club and buy your season tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com. We're in this together. All hands on deck. One Pirate Nation.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a 2-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash on 10th Street is now open. The 10th Street location is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes will be good at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and now on East 10th Street. And coming soon, Haviland Express Lube and Pirates Cove Car Wash in New Bern.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
At US Cellular, we speak fair. When we say you don't have to pay activation fees, we mean it. Plus, right now when you switch, you also get $700 toward the latest phones. Yep, we mean that too. Upgrade to fair with US Cellular. Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line port and credit approval. Qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Keep your vehicle clean with the Pirates Cove Car Wash Fast Pass. All 3 Pirates Cove Car Wash locations are offering Fast Passes for only $9.99 for all new Fast Pass customers. You can visit their other locations in Greenville on 10th Street, Fire Tower Road, and Memorial Drive. Pirates Cove Car Wash, the ultimate car wash experience and the official car wash of ECU Athletics. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live on the way here on Pirate Radio 92.7, 104.1, PR927FM.com. You can watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We got Bryce Williams in the house for hour number 3 today. What's up, Bryce?
Hey.
We will talk some football. You like football?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. We will talk football, hear what Mike Houston had to say. Got his comments coming up during this hour number 3. We'll also visit with the voice, Jeff Charles, get his take on what's going on in the world of sports, and got to do our Pirate Radio Outdoors update as well. See if Bryce did any hunting or fishing this past week.
Yeah, we got a little bit.
Shirley forgot today that this is a short segment, so we'll take a time out. We will come back and have a long segment, Shirley.
What's the score now?
I think we're about even. You might have taken the lead with that one.
3 and 3?
3-3 on Who Forgets, so we have to do a short segment here to start hour number 3. We also have to open up the Pirate Radio Booty Bag later on this hour, giving away a $10 gift card to Pops. Old-fashioned burgers, but there's a lot more there, as Shirley talked about earlier in the show.
Best hamburger steak you'll ever find.
Right down the road. Who knew?
You kind of raised my eyebrows there.
With some mashed potatoes and gravy and some collards, baby.
Can we put onions on it?
Yes.
What else? Mushrooms?
I don't eat mushrooms, so I just had onions and gravy on mine.
Oh, that's good. It still tastes good.
Yep.
All right. Good. You can do whatever you want at Pops because they got a lot of great options for you to enjoy. We'll give away a $10 gift card to Pops later on in today's program. Back with hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live after this.
Here today with a boo, also known as Brian Cavanaugh to his friends and family, YF3.
You know, I came here for the workout and quickly realized that it was far more about the physical. It's about the fellowship. It's about the opportunity to open up, to be vulnerable. And what that does is that increases the closeness, that increases the accountability, that increases that brotherhood.
One letter, one number, F3. Fitness, fellowship, and faith. All workouts are free of charge and open to all men. Leave no man behind, but leave no man where you find him. Learn more today at f3enc.com.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week or you just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week, you pick them up at Pops, it's $60 a week. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you, if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pops. You know how to reach me.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Feeling the heat? Then get out of the kitchen. Jersey Mike's has you covered all summer with fresh cold sliced subs. Perfect for parks, picnics, and patios. Order through our app for no contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. This summer, may your days be long, your cannonballs large, and your subs giant. Order Jersey Mike's for your next backyard adventure. Just use our app for no contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
The dog days of summer are here. The Humane Society of Eastern Carolina is excited to be partnered with Pirate Radio and Pitt Printing to make Greenville greater than ever. This is Shelby from the Humane Society of Eastern Carolina, and if you're headed to the beach, the river, or the pool, then stop by and see us to pick up a t-shirt and 2 koozies for only $20. Help rescue pets here in Pitt County and make Greenville greater than ever by getting your shirt and koozies at the Humane Society of Eastern Carolina or Pitt Printing today.
When you can take your eye off a big pizza pie, that's Familia.
Take a break from your dining room table and bring the family to Familia for lunch or dinner. Familia offers favorites like New York-style pizza, lasagna, chicken parmesan, chicken marsala, homemade meatballs, plus summer specials like mahi fish and chips, and steak pizzaola. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Call 689-6330. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
Pirate Radio. The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, and back to school is here, and the Auto Store Group is committed to helping their customers drive the best quality pre-owned vehicles and committed to caring about the kids in our community. Right now, during the Backpack to School event, every time the Auto Store Group sells a vehicle, they will be making a $50 donation to any local school that the customer chooses. The Auto Store Group, 3 locations, over 150 vehicles online at theautostoregroup.com, and most importantly, proud members of the Eastern North Carolina community for over 38 years. And as we head back into Pirate Radio Live clip, it was just announced just a few minutes ago that the University of North Carolina Athletics Department has suspended athletics for 24 hours. However, there has been no reason given as of yet.
Well, it seems to be on par with what Notre Dame did, right? That we had talked about earlier, where they, too, were going to the online deal for a period of time. And hopefully this will be a quick stop sign and they can continue on and go. I was feeling very optimistic about an hour ago when Wager McGhee told me that we were 2 weeks and a day away from the opening football game in college football. There's a Thursday night game that first week of September, and good grief, if I can watch Southern Miss and South Alabama play Bryce Williams, I'm gonna be very happy.
I'll be happy too. I want to see some football.
Yes, sir.
Not replays, but some actual up-to-date football.
You want to talk some football too? That'll put you in a good mood.
Yes.
Shirley, let's hear what Mike Houston had to say yesterday following ECU football practice. Here were his opening comments.
Hey, got some great weather today. Not too humid. No rain. Just a perfect day to practice. Very solid Tuesday. Just really liked the way the kids came out and worked today. Thought competed really well all throughout practice. We talked about, before practice today and also after practice today, you hear all these people talk about the process. Your Coach Saban talk about it a lot. I've talked about it. What's the process? The process is going out each day and giving just incredible effort, pushing yourself to be the best, focused, working to compete, doing that every single day, then, doing the things you got to do nutritionally, taking care of your body, getting a good night's sleep, then come back the next day and do it again, and then do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And the guys that can stack positive days on top of positive days and really focused on taking care of their body and developing themselves, those are the guys that you see developing throughout the process. And I thought today was a great example. Now we got to come back tomorrow and stack another positive day on top of it. So were there mistakes? Absolutely. There's tons of mistakes each and every day, but effort, attitude was very solid. And that if you get that every day, you're going to improve.
There is Mike Williams. Bryce, you're kind of nodding along there. You remember that grind that he's talking about? It's not just one day of practice. You gotta keep it rolling.
I was sitting there, and it was almost just like I was feeling myself in that atmosphere again, listening to him, and it was getting me fired up. It was just great to hear him say, just everything from taking care of your body and, hydrating, eating, sleeping, get out there and grind. And, yeah, you're going to make mistakes, but learn from your mistakes. And the big thing was stacking a good day on top of, keep stacking the good days on top of each other. And, it doesn't matter how good you did on Tuesday if Thursday during sort of the pregame deal and, it's a short, quick practice and you're, having missing assignments and dropping the ball and blocks and so on and so forth. It was just great to hear that, and then it's just so true. And I was definitely
you got put back in the zone.
I did. I was like, man, yeah. I was like, man, I missed that. That was holding yourself accountable just to maintain your body, mentally, physically, and that was good to hear from Coach Houston.
We'll hear a lot more from Mike Houston coming up in our program. Right now, we'll hear from the voice of the Pirates, Jeff Charles, who joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. Jeff, how you doing today?
Cliff, I'm doing great. I hope you and Bryce and Shirley are doing well.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us as always. And Jeff, I asked Brian North this a couple hours ago. I'll ask you too, because I've been guilty of it as well with ECU and with NFL and everything. And I want to ask you because you are, always prepared for what you've got coming up. So where are you right now as far as this football season goes? Knowing the roster, the X's and O's, the 2 deep, the 3 deep, all the position groups. Are you on par with where you are every other year, or with everything else going on outside of football, Jeff? Are you behind going into 2020?
Yeah, I would say I'm behind. And one of the reasons is because there's so many new players in this football program, Cliff. I'm really going to have to do my homework this year. We'll be ready to go for that first broadcast, obviously. But as I heard Coach Houston say the other day, there has been a turnover of 60 players in this program. So, for a play-by-play announcer, that means a lot of homework to do, a lot of bios to check out, a lot of numbers to learn, a lot of new names as well. But that's all part of the fun of it. I know guys who have done what I have done for so many years kind of get tired of the preparation, but I've always loved the preparation. I love to get the media guides, and I love to get the notes on Monday or Tuesday in the press conferences and start preparing for the game. I think that's really a big part of the fun. And so, yes, I'm a little bit behind where I usually am, but we'll catch up quickly.
Jeff Charles joining us. He'll be on the call. ECU Marshall still scheduled to go coming up on September 12th. And, Jeff, that's what we talk about each and every day. We update everybody the news on who's playing, who's not playing. There's been a lot more talk of who is playing than who's not playing this week. Last week, we saw the Big Ten Pac-12 drop out. And then, Jeff, we've seen every day games be added on the schedule. We talked to Chris Heymeyer earlier. Campbell is going to play. They have 2 games officially scheduled right now. He says they're going to play 4 games this fall, and Coach Mike Minter is going to play 4 games and then see what happens in the spring. The negative side now, the pessimistic side, is what's happening on campuses, on universities with these clusters, which is the word we're hearing a lot this week, and what that means, what that could mean for football. And I'm hopeful, Jeff, that just because students have to go off campus like they are in North Carolina, as a football fan, that won't impact football. But that seems to be, if there is a worry, Jeff, that seems to be kind of the new worry we're dealing with this week.
Yeah, you're right, Clip. And again, I know I'm repeating myself from all the conversations we've had this summer, but as long as we continue not to be able to keep the virus from spreading, everything is off at this point. I mean, all bets are off as to what's going to happen. And I really cringe to think where we could be in a couple of weeks around Labor Day, when all these kids have been back on campuses for 2 or 3 weeks and the public schools have opened some places. And then you have, like we've talked about before, we had those 250,000 motorcycle riders in Sturgis, South Dakota, that then have gone all back home, and all the respective states they've come from have now seen those folks go back. And so, every day, as you well know, Clip and guys, it's just one story after another. Appalachian State, they have now called practice off indefinitely. They've had 11 different people involved in the football program, 7 players and 4 people on the staff. They have had to indefinitely suspend football practice because 11 people connected with their program have now tested positive. And I think it's going to be a daily occurrence. I hate to say that, but I just think every day we're going to have another school, and they're going to be in the news for the wrong reasons. Hopefully, the students on these campuses will do a little bit better job than what they've done here the first couple of weeks, and wearing masks and staying away from big crowds. And obviously, the officials at these schools are doing everything that they can to try and get that message across. But let's face it, it's up to the students. It's up to the 18 to 21-year-olds to do what they're asked to do. Some of them do, some of them don't, as we know. So, again, we've got a little bit of a game plan, I think, Clip, but there's just still so much hanging in the balance with all of this. I hope we're playing football September 12th against Marshall in Greenville. I really hope that happens, but at this point, I don't think it's a lead pipe cinch.
Jeff Charles joining us on the Fixed NC Live line, certainly day to day, hour to hour, with everything that comes out. Jeff, we're watching right now the Hurricanes take on the Bruins, and it's 1-0 Canes, just under 15 minutes to go in the second period. I don't know how the Canes and Bruins didn't score while Jeff was talking just then, Bryce. There was a mad scramble around the net. And to that point, Voice, how much sports are you watching right now with what's going on in the hockey bubble, the NBA bubble, Major League Baseball, and everything in between? What are you enjoying, if anything, right now?
Well, I'm watching more Major League Baseball than anything right now, Clip. I've been paying attention to the Hurricanes, and that was a tough loss they had in the prior game, and now it's do or die. As you know, today they're down 3-1 in the series with Boston. I've watched a little bit of the NBA bubble. It's just kind of tough to stay up with this stuff because you don't know when the games are and where they're going to be televised, and, you just don't think about watching an NBA basketball game on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock or whatever. And we're in sports, and we're supposed to know these things. And the average fan, I don't know how they can keep up with these games, when they're going on, where they're going on, who's playing. And that's a real challenge, I think, for interest now in these sports. It's just hard to figure out when your team is playing. But baseball has gotten a little bit more of a routine. The games are at night like they always are through the week. And they're 7, 8 o'clock, whatever. And so I think people are getting back to tuning in again to watch baseball. I do watch baseball most nights. And I think what happens, Clip, is you get used to the new normal. And I'm kind of getting used to now watching games with no fans in the stands. At first, it was hard, but now it's just kind of accepted. And I'm watching the Tigers and the White Sox play where I am in Michigan on television. And the White Sox might have the goofiest cutouts I have seen in sports. They've got all of these cutouts all around the stadium. It just looks kind of crazy to me. I don't really understand why you would do that, but of course a lot of stadiums are doing it. But I guess I've kind of gotten more and more used to it. It's still not like it should be or like it will be hopefully soon, but it is what it is now, and like we've said before, I guess at least some sports better than no sports.
Every time I turn on the NBA bubble, hockey bubble, or baseball, I too know what I'm going to see now, Jeff, so I am used to it. And then they cut away to commercial, and they'll show an old highlight of fans going crazy, and it reminds you of what we're missing out on, and hope we can get back to that point sometime sooner rather than later, but we'll see on that. But I am enjoying everything going on. I got to say, I would be in super NFL mode this time of year, along with ECU football, Jeff, but with no preseason And I guess they are now having training camp and having some media availability. So we're starting to see pictures and video. But the NFL is almost out of sight, out of mind. And we'll see if that changes next month when the games begin. But, man, there's never been a time in my sports viewing life where I've been so disassociated with the NFL this close to the season.
And Cliff, it's really interesting you mentioned that, because when we talk about the NFL, we always talk about what a great job they do in marketing the product through the entire calendar year. They do the best job of that than any of the other sports. So you get to this time of the year, and you've got the training camps, and you've got the preseason games, of course, in August. Then you've got, of course, the regular season everybody's into, the playoffs in December. Then you've got the Super Bowl in January, maybe a little bit of a break there. But then, the NFL really never goes away. You get back to them getting back into camp in the spring, and then, of course, the hours and hours and hours of coverage of the NFL draft in the spring and getting ready for the draft kind of carries you into the next year. So they've done a remarkable job of marketing their product on a yearly basis. And you're right, it just seems like now it's just kind of on the back burner, and you're not thinking a whole lot about the NFL. People right now, I think, are thinking more about college football because there's so many questions, and every day the situation is changing, and college football is getting a lot more interest, I think, now than the NFL is. So, and the whole situation is strange in sports. The world is strange. The country is strange, and we're all just trying to deal with it as best we can.
That we are, taking it day by day. Jeff, always enjoy checking in with you, talking sports with you here Wednesdays on Pirate Radio Live. Glad to hear you're doing well, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Cliff.
Another visit with the voice, Jeff Charles. Bryce, how about you as far as, you're a football player, so you were locked in all those years, but being a fan of football in the NFL, does it seem like it's kind of on the back burner for you right now?
For sure. I haven't seen, like you said, it's kind of just disassociated with it, with not seeing it playing on TVs to the NFL Network, or even it's not always even much of that on Instagram or anything like that. I see a few things from some of the guys. I saw videos he posted. I guess the Raiders had posted on one-on-ones and stuff. So it was cool to see him making plays, and that's about the extent of my football info that I'm receiving. So.
Kind of crazy right now for some Pirates. Dwayne Harris, and he's had a great NFL career, a long one, but now he is a free agent. I saw he tried out with the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. And also Justin Hardy doesn't have a job right now.
Yeah, that I know Shirley just told me about Dwayne, so that's cool to hear he's getting, an opportunity. Hopefully they sign him. That would be great. And then Hardy, yes, I still see his Instagram videos. He's still training and working, and he hadn't skipped a beat. So I'm hoping the best for him.
That's going to be one of those situations where, and it probably would have happened during the preseason if there was, but when a guy goes down, Hardy's got to be at the top of the list.
Oh, I would definitely think so. I mean, he's such a smooth, calm, collected player, and reliable is, I think, a big word for him. And I'm just hoping he gets picked up, like I said, with people, I guess, sitting out and choosing to do that. Hopefully he gets looked at.
I think he'll definitely be on a team coming up in 2020. Let's get a break in. We'll come back and we'll hear more from Mike Houston. We'll put Bryce Williams back in that football zone he was in a moment ago.
Yeah, I want to hear some more clips.
And talk more about what's going on at practice, what's going on outside of the practice field as well with Mike Houston. More with Bryce Williams. And we'll open up the booty bag when we return after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood is employee pricing on all Buicks and GMC SUVs, including Canyon, with the purchase and lease options. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have kept the fires burning for Eastern North Carolina Whole Hog Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out wood-fired meats, cooked fresh every single day. There are no freezers at our place. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Stop in and see us, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. At Sam Jones Barbecue, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to TeamUltra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's TeamUltra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at TeamUltra.com. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water-soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at QualityEquip.com.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Hey, welcome to Jack Brown's.
Hey, can I get a cheeseburger and add lettuce and tomato?
No, we don't have it. You can get some macaroni and barbecue chips on it, though. Greg Brady style. Or cream cheese and jalapeno jelly. Cobra Kai. Or bacon, a fried egg, and some cheese. Chiplet. Or just cheese, you know, like a cheeseburger.
Cool. I'll take a Greg Brady with those new cheese fries you guys got.
Sounds good.
Oh, I forgot. Can I get us at a ranch?
No! Jack Brown's, 805 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
Pirate Radio 1250 and 930.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the Auto Store Group. Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back to the show. It was a rough day for the stock market today. The Dow fell 85 points and closed out at 27,692. The NASDAQ is down 64 at 11,146, and the S&P is down 14 points at 3,374. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right. Thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Chandler, video production today. Got big Bryce Williams, former ECU tight end, hanging out in the Pirate Radio studios. Hurricanes with a 1-0 lead 8:52 and counting left to go in the second period as they are down to their final game. If they lose this one, if they win, they will advance to a game 6. So the Hurricanes right now with a 1-0 lead. All right, let's hear some more of Mike Houston. And this is interesting, Bryce, because what did you play during your football career other than tight end? High school, coming up, what'd you play?
Oh, well, I was in high school. I was a receiver, did some defense and things like that, like safety. Middle school was a little bit of cornerback and offense, like running back in the real young community ball and stuff. But then obviously high school was strictly really offense, and then I guess you could say I was a little bit of a fullback in college, with the H-back position, so I kind of had to learn some of that, so that was cool.
Ronnie Woodward asked Mike Houston, is he experimenting with any guys and their positions because of, not only could you test positive for COVID, have to miss time, but the contact tracing. If you're around somebody that has it, you could potentially miss time. So they're going to have to potentially have guys who can do different things on the football team. Here's what Mike Houston had to say about that.
Quite a bit. For example, on the offensive line, most of those guys are playing at least 2 positions. A couple of them can play all 5. And so certainly anywhere we can double train someone, we're doing that because you're right. You got to create – this is the year you got to create depth. You have what you have. It's not like we have a waiver wire or something like that. We can pick up a free agent in the middle of the season. You have what you have. And so, you're going to see some guys out there on the field playing this year that maybe normally, they would play less, be redshirted, whatever. This is going to be one of those years where a lot of guys got to be ready to play.
All right, Mike Houston there. And Bryce, when a guy moves around positions and things, it could be a detriment to him and to the team because he's not just specialized at one position. I think about Garrett McGhee, who was the ultimate team player here, played just about every position on the offensive line during his 4 years. But now that's almost a necessity if you are going into a season with kind of question marks on if your guys are going to be available each and every week. You're going to need players that can do multiple things.
Oh, for sure. Like you said, I heard he's pointed out a few guys who can play all 5 on the line. That's huge. If you got who's just strictly a guard, well, what if all your tackles get injured or anything like that? Having players that can play several different positions, benefits the team exponentially, and that's huge, and that's good. They're having to double train, these guys at certain positions for this year.
All right, Mike Houston was asked about pass rushers who have been standing out at practice.
Well, I think that through Coach Harrell's scheme, you're going to create pass rushers from all over the place. It's one thing Coach Kirkpatrick has commented on is, he's seen everything he's probably going to see all year already in preseason camp. So, Rick DeBrayu, I think, is having a very solid camp, and he's a guy that, he's pretty quick twitch, pretty athletic. And so that's a guy that's, stood out, to a degree there. I think some of the young kids, Jason Romero, Kareem Stinson, very athletic, really good speed off the edge. And then, some of your second level guys, the backers and stuff like that, you're going to see some of those guys involved in the pass rush pretty regularly.
All right, Mike Houston there. Bryce, I got to imagine the really fun part of football for you was catching a pass, scoring a touchdown. But what about staying in on the line and blocking those defensive ends and rush ends?
That was, I enjoyed that part of my job as well. It definitely didn't make it easy. When you're down in a 3-point stance and you got a DN or a outside linebacker in a sprinter stance just staring at the ball, and you're having to sort of look at him, just sort of listen to the cadence or peripheral vision, see that ball snap. It's almost like they got a little bit of a head start on you. Man, it makes it tricky. There were some guys who are fast. You just got to do your best to get a good jump off the ball and do your job. And then obviously, as far as all those, I was listening to all the guys he has, rushing from depth.
Yeah,
I know Coach Kirkpatrick's probably emphasizing the receivers to pay attention to those hot routes because you do not want to miss a hot route and have the quarterback miss that, or you'll get an earful.
That was pretty interesting that that they said Donnie has seen just about everything you can from a defensive standpoint. seeing what his Blake Harrell's guys are doing, that's only going to help the offense.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I said, to have all those different looks coming at you already, and it's just you're going against your own guys, for when it comes to the season, and they're seeing all these different schemes. I think that's only going to help the quarterbacks and the receivers, and even the running backs if they have to shoot to the flat for some reason for a hot or anything. So I think it'll be really good.
All right, Mike Houston was asked about if he was where he wants to be, his team, from a conditioning standpoint. Here's what he had to say.
We're getting there. I do think the guys are pushing themselves and practicing themselves into shape. But we're a whole lot better off right now than we were a couple of weeks ago. And the ones that miss some time, no matter what the reason, whether it's medically or if they're quarantined or something like that. Those are the guys that you see that struggle a little bit when they come back, and that shows you really where the rest of them are. But we're getting there. You can't replace 4 months with Big John and the staff, but we're in much better shape right now than we were.
All right, that conditioning, obviously a huge part, and a lot of missed time there, Bryce, where guys had to kind of do their own conditioning at home. I bet some did it more than others. So for sure. I guess the benefit here is you have moved your kickoff back a couple of weeks, so you're able to get a little extra time in. Also interesting, Bryce, that they're going, and do you recall how many scrimmages you would have during fall camp, preseason practice?
Fall camp, it was, what was it, 2? Was it 2 scrimmages?
I think going with 4 this year.
Oh, wow.
They're going to have their third coming up on Friday, and then I believe another one next week. So they'll.
Okay.
It's almost
Friday.
Well, you go head out there?
I don't know. I might see if I can get a little sideline pass.
Yeah, cool. Just go out there and say, hey. Say, do you know who I am? and Donnie will say, yeah, and a lot of other people will say, no, who are you? Head out there, get some intel for us. But that's pretty interesting. How important are those? When we hear scrimmage, we're like, all right, we're going to get some stats. We're going to get some numbers.
Right.
Is it like a practice, or is it a little more intense?
No, it's scrimmage is definitely fun. I think there's a little bit of, because it's live. Most of the time when we were practicing, it wasn't really live. It was thud. So really to get the feel of getting tackled, I didn't get tackled that much this game, but to be able to get tackled and just sort of get that live feel again is definitely exciting. And it's nowhere near as hard as a practice because possessions, guys are getting traded, getting switched in and out and stuff. But the scrimmages, I really enjoy those. Those are fun.
Shirley, let's go cut 7 because Mike Houston talked about scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2 and what he saw different, and also talked about the battle that's going on right now between the offense and defense.
I think just how, in scrimmage 1, we talked about, the offense really didn't give itself a chance between turnovers, penalties, and, protections. Just didn't give themselves a chance. I thought that last Friday, virtually no turnovers, 1 late in the scrimmage, only giving up 1 sack. They eliminated the negative plays that hurt them. Third down, really stood out where we made some critical plays on third down to keep drives going. But then defensively, you look at it and how close the defensive guys were to making the play or getting it. It was such a competitive scrimmage, and you come out of it feeling, well, you know what? You didn't play as bad defensively as just, the offense made some critical plays, which I'm glad to see that. Coming back this Friday, it's a pretty little rivalry going between Donnie and Blake around the office. So, they're having fun with it. The kids are. I've let it kind of go a little bit more than usual this year as far as letting them kind of go at each other, jawing, creating that rivalry, because I think you got to have that right now with where we are with everything going on. You got to have it to keep the energy up at practice. So that's what I want to see. I want to see both sides play at a high level this week.
All right, Bryce, you've said in the past you weren't much of a talker on the field, right. But you were around guys that probably were, and I'm assuming you had the offense's back. So what were those feels like in practice where you're going against your buddies, but you're trying to beat them, and you start to talk a little junk and things. How heated?
Oh yeah, there were some guys. I can't think of any guys in particular, but yeah, they would mouth off back to each other, and I think I definitely saw it mainly between the O-line and D-line guys. Getting real feisty and things like that, because us skill players and things like that, we kind of could work with each other depending on if it was thud or whatever it was being. But I liked what he said is how he's letting them, kind of just sort of go, take a little farther and, why simmer some guys down when they're juiced up, fired about the environment, fired about playing. I think it's cool that he's letting them sort of go. I mean, obviously to a certain extent, you don't want to get penalties, but, keep the energy going, and I think keeping things interesting and things like that, I think that was cool.
And with all that lost time, guys have some pin-up aggression.
They pin up a great, for out of who knows what. Football was definitely a good thing to, you never were stressed out really after practice. You're just kind of obviously you were tired and got all your negative energy out or whatever it may be after practice.
Charlie, let's go with the cut 8. Mike Houston was asked if is anybody getting anything for winning these scrimmages, a steak dinner or anything like that, and here's what he said.
We haven't been. I think they eat pretty good now. It's not like they're starving. The training table meal is better than anything I had in college. But now the biggest thing with them is they got to listen to the other side. You got to listen to them squawk for an entire week. I mean that's worse than anything else. So they've really had a lot of fun. I tell you, this is an enjoyable bunch to coach. And I've really enjoyed this preseason camp, and I look forward to playing games. But this has been a really enjoyable restart after the quarantine.
All right, Bryce. Outside of bragging rights, did you ever get anything for winning the scrimmage?
Never did. Also, Coach Houston said not having to listen to the other side talk and stuff. I mean, it was the worst feeling if you had a DB or a linebacker get one over on you. Whether it's even if they had nothing to do with deflecting the ball, if they somehow allowed to interfere to drop it, or a linebacker got you on a block or something, that would just eat you up. And we hate me personally, I definitely hated it, and it was just God.
Who used to talk the most junk on the defensive side?
Oh gosh, I mean Zeke. Zeke. I think Zeke. He was
always talking.
He was always talking. He was never like bad, but he just fooling with us. Some loud, B. Will, when I was there.
Oh, really?
Some of the Josh Hawkins. He would talk, but he could back it up. So the defensive, I think the defensive guys definitely spoke. They spoke way more. I think because they were getting upset. We were beating them most of the time when we played. But it's all fun, and some tension can get high, but it's a good time. That's just part of it. And it was listening to Coach Houston, my goodness, now I feel like this is our biggest football segment. It's
starting to feel real.
It's got, I know why my heart rate's up a little bit. Just like I would love to get out to the practice and watch the guys, watch the offense, and hopefully I can make that happen soon.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get a break in, Shirley. As we do, 317-1250. If you have not won this month, it's time to make you a winner. Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Bryce likes that.
That's funny.
Bryce likes it. 317-1250. Caller 12 wins a $10 gift card to Pop's Old Fashioned Burgers. Shirley has talked up the hamburger steak. Bryce likes gravy, onions, and mushrooms on his mashed potatoes.
Oh my goodness!
In the
Shirley's
gravy.
Got me hungry.
Mike Houston's got you pumped. Shirley's got you hungry.
I'm getting all sorts of energies getting burned out for me right now.
All right, 317-1250. You can be a winner. More to go with Bryce Williams after this.
There's nothing like Pirate Game Days.
He's got the ball. He starts right. He goes left, and there he goes. 10, 5, touchdown Pirates. Home Steelers takes it in from 21 yards out.
The sight of a tailgate. The roar of the crowd. Support the Pirate Club and buy your season tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com. We're in this together. All hands on deck. One Pirate Nation.
CPW's is currently open 7 days a week, with the bar opening daily at 3 p.m. for cocktails and appetizers, and for dinner starting at 4 p.m. Every Monday and Tuesday at CPW's, receive a free appetizer of your choice when you purchase 2 dinner entrees. The dining room is also available during lunch hours and weekends for private dining, meetings, and events. CPW's also offers drop-off caterings for luncheons, employee appreciation events, weddings, showers, and reunion dinners. CPW's is now offering our streamlined dining room menu of classics and favorites. If there's a legacy menu item that you miss, just ask, and we'll do our best to prepare it for you. And for carryout, try easy online ordering at cpws.biz and save 10% off your order just for trying it out. Come see what we're all about. CPW's, corner of Stantonsburg Road and Arlington Boulevard in the Stanton Square Shopping Center, Greenville.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a two-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs, 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity, next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
Do you think you or your employees might have been exposed to COVID-19? Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy employer solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Domino's week-long carry-out deal means you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day. That's right, $7.99 each, and every day means any day. But just in case there's any confusion, we've set up a helpful website to confirm if today's a day you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each at Domino's. Just go to howabouttoday.com to find out if Domino's week-long carry-out deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes extra large and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by the owned and operated for over 38 years. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Hey, Pirate fans, if you're hungry for the best ECU news and information, then you need to be part of the Pirate Radio digital platforms. Keep up with the latest breaking news and information by liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter and Instagram at PR927FM. Listen live and to all of our archive programming anytime by visiting PR927FM.com. Stay connected beyond your radio dial with all of the Pirate Radio digital platforms. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Barad.
All right, congratulations to Sarah, our winner today, of a $10 gift card to Pop's Old Fashioned Burgers. Shirley's been talking of the hamburger steak. I've had a great cheesesteak at Pop's before, so they have a lot of different things for you there, including some healthy options as well. Sarah, our winner today, as she gets a prize out of the booty bag, we'll have another one for you coming up on Thursday's show. By the way, on Thursday, we'll talk to former ECU pitcher, now a member of the Cleveland Indians organization, Trey Benton, going to join us on the show coming up 3:30 on Thursday, so looking forward to that. Also, Coach Mac McCarthy, scheduled for Thursday's show as well. Stephen Igo will join me, Troy D, and touchdown Tony Collins. So all that on the way Thursday on Pirate Radio Live. Shirley, it was 1-0 Hurricanes just last segment, actually, and they scored a power play goal while we were running the Mike Houston cuts, and then during that break, apparently they scored again.
Yeah, apparently was just looking at the play-by-play on that. But, yeah, they're up 2-1 right now in the second period. And I was trying to find it, but Bergeron from behind the net banked one off of Mrazek with 3.5 left in the period.
Tom Bergeron, former host of America's Funniest Home Videos, with the score.
Which is one of my favorite hosts of all the hosts of America's Funniest Home Videos.
I guess I'm a Saget guy.
I mean, I'm Saget 1, then Tom Bergeron. But
Isn't
he's
that it?
very, very, very... No.
Who else is done?
There was Daisy Fuentes and John Fugelsang. There was... what was that? Oh, yeah, Alfonso Ribeiro.
I heard Chandler in the background. Carlton from Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Carlton from Fresh
I
Prince.
must have missed out on those. I don't remember that.
No, I've been. Well, that tells you how long I've been watching AFV all these years. But
wait, did the other guy from Full House,
Dave Collier?
He did it as well, right?
Yep.
Bryce, what are your all-time favorite TV shows?
Oh gosh,
We hung a severe left, but
I just want to know what Bryce Williams likes or like growing up.
When I was like young, I guess more elementary school, Rocket Power was cool. That was like these beach, these group of friends, and they just did all sorts of surfing, skateboarding, mountain biking. So that was cool. And then it's kind of funny. These are old. When I was young, like Angry Beavers was a cool show. But then like now, Dirty Jobs was a cool show back when I was in high school. I really enjoyed that. You know, Deadliest Catch, Alaskan Last Frontier. When I was like middle school, it was like Discovery Channel. Things like that.
You like, even when you're indoors, you like watching about the outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
That's
How It's Made was a cool show. I don't know if they still do it, but
they do. It's on the Science Channel.
Yeah, the How It's Made. Some stuff I was like, man, that doesn't seem cool to see how it was made. And others was super cool. So some of those shows, building stuff outdoors.
I've been watching something I haven't seen in years, but I saw it pop up on Netflix. Pawn Stars. You remember that one?
Oh yeah.
I got sucked into that and watched like 3 episodes.
I love seeing them negotiate.
Yeah. I got to call a guy to see if this is real.
Exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of outdoors, let's get to the Pirate Radio Outdoors. I got the blues.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. What'd you do this week, Bryce?
Of course, I got to get out there and do something. Yeah, I'm cooped up. Well, not cooped up, but, get on the water. Something. So I was able to, went fishing this past Saturday. We put in Vandermeer and went all the way up to Jones Bay. So I was kind of put the miles in on the boat, and we fishing for flounder, drum, trout, whatever we could really catch. And, of course, we sort of found a good flounder spot. And, well, you can't keep them until the season didn't open up until this Sunday, this past Sunday. So I catch a nice flounder, could have put them in my live well and fried them up, but unfortunately I had to throw them back. But we fished we woke up, we got there at 6 or 7, but it had to hold off on a storm and whatnot. And
how do you, as an avid fisherman, hunter, feel about the regulations? Like, do you understand? I don't understand why they're in place because I don't do this stuff. But do you understand why? And is there a good reason why?
For sure. I mean, hunting, I think, is, good regulations to have it. You don't want to overkill, but you definitely need to control the population and things like that. But
as far as like the flounder, like why?
Flounder, they supposedly they or the population numbers are going down and they want to regulate them and cut the season off. But, we're out here, we're sportsmen fishing with literally a lure. If you're fishing a big lure, it's probably maybe 6 inches long in this open water, and we're regulated to 4 fish. When it comes to flounder and trout, and you got these other fishermen, it's a livelihood, and they can. Well, they're regulated as well, but you're still like, we can only keep 4 fish out of this whole all these waters and stuff. So, it is what it is. I typically 4 fish, 5. If I catch 4 fish in a day, I'm pumped anyway. So, they're set in place, to help regulate things, but the numbers you know, they don't think they're out there really counting the numbers as as people think. But
all right, I was just curious about that. So got you a flounder, but couldn't keep it.
Yeah, but hopefully go on this weekend so we can actually keep it and have some fish.
All right, is that it for the week of Pirate Radio Outdoors with Bryce Williams?
I think just the fishing that Sunday, and I was gone all day Saturday, so I figured I'd hang low. And I think it rained Sunday anyway. Did it rain Sunday? Oh, I can't remember.
I feel like it rains every day.
I golfed a little bit on Sunday.
Oh yeah, how'd you do?
Was it not bad. We only played a few holes, so I haven't golfed in probably all summer, honestly, because it's been hot, but not terrible.
We saw, Shirley, you were talking about Taco Fall golfing. You ever seen Taco Fall 7.5?
I would love to see those golf clubs.
Oh, you should see the video. I thought Charles Barkley's swing was ugly, but this one was really ugly.
I'm about to go.
But I can imagine for a guy who's over 7 feet tall, it's going to be an ugly looking swing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I have to get my clubs extended like inch and a half. I was going to
imagine
what his clubs look like. You would have to like custom build those. You wouldn't just put an extension on a normal golf club. No way.
That would be exercise for Taco because he'd take like 3 steps from the tee and he's at the hole. He's got such a long stride.
The golf cart would not be comfortable. He's definitely not having a buddy on the golf cart. That's for sure.
So I'm looking up tallest pro golfers. And how tall are you, Bryce?
6'6".
Yeah. So George Archer, 6'5.5". Won the 1969 Masters. I saw another Stuart Sink. I've seen him golf. I didn't realize.
Dustin Johnson. Is that right? I think he's pretty tall.
Is he?
I was going to say Dustin Johnson is pretty tall. Yeah, lanky.
Yeah.
Stuart Sink, who I've seen quite a bit. He's 6'4", apparently. Yeah. So I'll see how tall Dustin Johnson. But it is not. It's not a tall man. It's not basketball.
No.
Not a tall man's game.
Not at all. I think those guys are no.
And if you're Taco Fall, you have to have a caddy. You have to have somebody get the ball out of the cup for you, right? Like, is he bending over every time?
His hands fit in the mud. Yeah,
couldn't get it in there. Anyway, we got off.
I watched a video yesterday of Zion Williamson breaking a club, swinging it. Like, went to go hit a ball and he broke the club in half.
I don't doubt it.
6'4", Dustin Johnson. Good call, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
I watched a little bit of golf.
He's from Myrtle Beach.
All right, what else do you know about him? Did you do a book report on him?
He is married to
is
Wayne
Gretzky's
daughter.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Fun fact of the day.
That was super fun.
Cool.
Bryce, we got you hungry and fired up. Now we're going to let you go off on the dusty trail and
I know
take care of those urges.
I'm about to. I'm hungry.
Shirley, great job as always. Chandler, Glenn has you working full time now.
I know.
Earning your hard-earned pay. Which is life experience and fun times, right?
Yes.
Can't put a price tag on that.
I'm enjoying it. So
you are, and you're doing a great job.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, buddy. All right, Bryce, we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Cliff.
Enjoyed it, man.
See y'all later.
We will see you Thursday, 3 o'clock for an all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. For Shirley Rhodes, Chandler, Bryce, I'm Cliff Brock. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the